Hello, everyone. Hello. Let's just go to the comments. Oh, God. Are you feeling good? I tell you what, it's a party, isn't it? Is everyone happy? Let's have a look. Let's just go into the stream. A little problem getting this stream on for some unknown reason. It didn't seem to want to come on, but anyway, it's come on now. Insert name, Tangerine Army. Who could it be? Who could it be? Who do you want? Post in the comments. Is there anybody that excites you? Or is it just a case of anybody? Lewis Cousin says, hi Lee, who would be your ideal manager and who do you think will get the job realistically? I think Jane was saying that she'd love Ian Evatt back with Tomo as his number two. I could go with that. I've heard Wilder, who was at Middlesbrough, but Sheffield United manager, Chris Wilder. He sounds pretty good to me. Seems it's rumoured that Mick McCarthy is the favourite, but I don't listen to any of that. It's bookies are never right with Blackpool, are they? They don't until it's announced officially. It's not a story for me. I'm not going to even worry about Mick McCarthy for now. What do you think the retro kits post was about? I don't know. I don't even know what that is, Lewis. Sorry. Had to happen now, though, says Brad Foley. Yes, it did. Eugene McGoo says Chris Wilder's bookie's favourite for the Blackpool job. Well, not on some bookies. A lot have got Mick McCarthy, so I wouldn't mind him, to be honest. I think he'd be all right. Blackpool FC fan says, finally some good news now. We need to concentrate on staying up. Who would you like to see take charge, Lee? Yep, same question I've just said. I'll be happy with Chris Wilder. I'll be happy with Ian Evatt. But I'm not sure if we'll get either of those. Rod Sloan says we need a hard-nosed, full-on Glaswegian that nobody understands. Great, okay. Brad Foley's hoping to see Knockout start on Saturday, so we'll see if he does. Andrew and Rachel Gurley says that this is the best news of the year so far, up the mighty pool. Indeed, I think we're all very happy. Ryan Dunbar is, we're having a sing-along. So, what an atmosphere. Love a party with a happy atmosphere. Yes, and a happy Tangerine New Year. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Can you tell I'm happy? Ryan Dunbar is happy, I can tell. Blackpool FC Fancy TV has heard that Blackpool have already got a replacement manager. Trust me, there is nothing comes out of this club. If you've heard that Blackpool have already got a replacement manager, you won't have heard it officially from Blackpool. So I don't listen to these rumours. I don't listen to the noise. There's no point. People are posting stuff everywhere, and somebody posts something on a message board and it becomes fact. And until it's official, it's nothing. Rod Sloan may now go to the Saints in the FA Cup. Blackpool Rock TV, happy days. Hello, Blackpool Rock TV. Dawson's here. 89 says, would you take Hassan Huttle, former Southampton manager? Don't think we could afford anybody like that who's been a Premier League manager. I don't think we would be able to afford him. I doubt it very much. Baron Tor says Ian Evatt. Yeah, Ian Evatt, indeed. Brad Foley says we've signed some good players. Well, let's see how they gel together on Saturday. So have we. Ryan Dunbar doesn't want anyone with former links to the club. Neither do I, really. Blackpool Rock TV says Mick McCarthy would be a great choice. What about the former Leicester City and Ireland boss too? I forget his name. Are we talking about what we managed? Oh God, somebody will. Hello, Baron Tor. Hi, how you doing? Eddie H says that Renter Mob on another view from the teenagers drove Appleton out, and they neglect to blame Bullshit Ben, Bullshit Brett, and Slimy Simon. My, that's a combination, isn't it? Bloody hell. Not a fan then of those. I was in a bit of darkness there, so just lined it up a bit. So Bullshit Ben, Bullshit Brett, and Slimy Simon. God. Right, okay. Yes, I don't think it's just a view from the tower, to be honest, that have been unhappy about Michael Appleton. A lot of Blackpool fans were unhappy about him. He kind of was didn't have the fans behind him, and this is the problem. I mean, he didn't say, there's a couple of things that Michael Appleton said when he came into the club, and that was, that we're kind of, we punched above our weight the year before under Critchley, and we may not do as well. Well, that's not a great start to anything, is it? If you say that, even if you should think about something like that before you say it, because that's immediately, putting you in the bottom half of the table, which is not what we were all thinking after last year. We're all thinking, we could do better to this year. So that didn't get him off to a great start. Then he starts saying, before we go to Sunderland, that we have to kind of know our place and appreciate who we are and who they are and all that stuff. Well, my thoughts on this, and it's always been my thoughts on it, and I'll go back to a post that I saw on A View from the Tower many years ago. Some of you may remember it. We were playing Birmingham, and Birmingham were in the Gene Kelly stand, and I think it was a cup game on a Tuesday night. It was an FA Cup game, and we beat them. And one of the Birmingham fans came onto the A View from the Tower, and he said that he couldn't believe how loud we were for only 9,000. And he actually said that the Blackpool fans didn't sound like they were singing for the fathers. They sounded like they were singing for the fathers' fathers. And that was his quote. And I've always believed, as a Blackpool fan, that we make more noise than we're entitled to, really. And Critch mentioned it as well. He said that sometimes it sounds like 4 times the number of fans here. And when people call us Little Blackpool, they call us Little Blackpool because we only get like 12,000 in and they're getting 30,000 in. But we sing louder than they do in their 30,000, 40,000 grounds at Bloomfield Road. It is louder than any ground I have been to yet in the Championship. I've not been to one ground that is a patch on the noise that we make. And unfortunately, this season, that noise has not been as good as it can be because the fans are divided. And the noise has been quite disappointing. Fans will still say we were loud, but we know how loud we can be and we know how we can roar this team on. And we haven't been roaring this team on. And that's, part of the problem with everything. If we're not the 12th man, if we're not making the noise of 30,000 people and punching above our weight as fans like we do, roaring this team on, then we are Little Blackpool. That's the problem. We have to be, as fans, the fans that make the noise of 30,000. We have to be that team that lifts the performance on the pitch, because that's what we do. That's what we've always done. And that's why we got in the Premier League, because we were just the belief, the noise we made, the atmosphere. People, I remember a lady from, I can't remember which commentator it was, from Radio Lancashire, took a game in. She came down to one of the games as we were getting, near to the Premier League and that. And she could not believe the noise that we make. It's phenomenal. Nobody makes a noise like that. You will have sections of a crowd that will sing occasionally, but it's like 3 sides at times all rocking. And that also makes, when our players go away to like Sheffield United and win at Sheffield United and play well at Sheffield United, it's because they're not intimidated by a 30,000 crowd, because that 30,000 crowd is not as intimidating as Bloomfield Road. They're used to the noise of playing in a stadium that sounds like 30,000, and they're not intimidated. And we have not been that. We have not been that. We have been so divided as a fan base, and we're singing rubbish songs. I mentioned it, the night before, that we're singing. We're at Hull City. Sonny Carey scores a goal. He runs over to the crowd. He's on his knees. He's going absolutely bananas because he scored this goal. He's over the moon. And straight away, our fans are singing, "How shit must you be? We're winning away," which is supposed to take the piss out of them, but it takes the piss out of us, and it doesn't inspire the team. So I hope we drop that song anyway, but I hope we're singing, full on singing on Saturday and roaring this team on, because if we do, there's no place like Bloomfield Road. And that's just my thought on it. We're not Little Blackpool, and we weren't Little Blackpool when Holloway came in. I think Jane's just been on Radio Lancashire and made the point that when Simon Grayson was here, before Holloway came, he was talking about Blackpool being, a small club and all the rest of it. Holloway came in believing that we weren't a small club, believing that we were capable of getting in the Premier League, believing that we would do it, talk the players at the time into not getting paid to play, but accepting no payment for playing, but a carrot of a £5 million bonus shared out between all of them when we get in the Premier League. And they went for it. They believed it. Those players believed that was going to happen, and it happened. And you've got to make these things happen. And Appleton was straight away, I didn't like it, didn't go down well anywhere. It's nothing to do with children on a view from the tower. Everybody felt the same way. That why are you saying that last year we overachieved? Why come into a club straight away and start saying, we overachieved last year? We didn't. We were fantastic at times last year. In fact, we underachieved because we blew it at the end because Critchley, for some unknown reason, wasn't playing bowler and all this, because we thought he was. I didn't think he was playing bowler because I thought he was going in the summer. But Critch set us up to fail at the end and blew, took all the icing off the cake. We finished below Preston and we shouldn't have done. And it was underachieving for me. I thought we were going to make the playoffs last year because we were, before Gabriel and Dujon Sterling got both injured, we were looking like a side that was going up. And I don't believe, I don't agree with Appleton. I didn't agree with what he said. I'm going to take a few more. I'm just going to read a few more comments, and then I'll maybe go to the phones and you can phone in. If you haven't phoned in before and you want to phone in and tell me where you were when you heard the news, that's the question today. So where were you when you heard the news? You can phone in. If you haven't phoned in before, if you just send me a text on the number with your name, and then I'll know it's you phoning in, and I'll have you in the phone book. So I'm not taking any calls that come from private numbers. I don't, because it's always some sort of knobhead on the end of the phone, so I'm not doing that. Yeah, same with you. If we lose, people saying our manager will be sacked. Well, that is a thing, but we've been losing a lot. Julie Bell says she hopes Stephen Dobby gets the job. And again, I'm not too sure about that. Personally, myself, private number coming in. Sorry, I'm not. I don't know why you're ringing in. I'm not going to answer it. Stephen Woolley. I heard that Chris Wilder is a 2-1 favourite for the job. Daz BFC says should never have got the job in the first place. He killed the good feeling we had since the Oysons went. Yes, it was not really good. Let's have a look on Facebook if there's any chat on there at the moment. No, there's not. There's nothing on there at the moment. Let's go. I'll just catch up with these. Ryan Dumas saying it wouldn't surprise me though if we do already have a manager set up. We may well do because right, I've got people phoning in. I'm just right. We're gonna. Just give me 5 minutes to just get through these comments, and then you can phone in. I'll put the number when I put the number on the screen. You can phone in, but until then, I'm just going to try and get through these comments because I can't do both things. It's we've got a long night ahead. If we can have as many phone calls in, as I said earlier on, we can stay up to the wee small hours if we want. If there's so many people want to talk. Oh, Martin O'Neill. Yes, of course, Martin O'Neill. Yeah, he'd be all right, wouldn't he? Would he come here? I would be very surprised, Luke, if they brought Grayson back. I don't think there's a chance of that, to be honest. It's just a stupid comment, that, to be honest. There's no way they're going to bring Simon Grayson back. No chance. They already know they've screwed it up with bringing Appleton back, and Grayson was a disaster, and they know it, so there's no chance of that. Adam Davies says, I'm a Blackpool fan and I'm happy that the Blackpool manager's gone. I just wish Blackpool had Tony Mowbray as manager. Yeah, so do I. Somebody like him would be great, wouldn't he? Yeah, Martin O'Neill, let's come back. Yeah. Yeah, Lewis says Everett would be great, but depends on whether we will pay better wages than Bolton. And also, we've turned him down twice, so he may be reluctant to come. That's the only thing with that. We should get Steve Cooper. Yeah. It's not going to happen, is it? Mark Warburton would be a decent appointment, I feel, considering what he did at QPR for us. He was out of his depth with everything from the previous season, surviving on the last day from beating Ipswich. Maybe Mark Warburton. I've not really thought of him, to be honest. Eddie H says, the atmosphere at Bloomers can be heard in Leighton. It can, but it hasn't been, has it, so far this season? I've been disappointed quite a few times with the noise that we've made. We've been divided. It's as simple as that. Quite often I hear away, and we hear it more in the south than you will in the north because you're so far away. But they're singing, "Can we sing a song for you?" And that's not something I like to hear at Bloomfield Road. Normally we just drown them out, don't we? We don't even hear them. Ryan Dunbar says, we actually sing louder than a 50,000 seat at Ibrox, and that's me also a Rangers fan. Well, that's the thing. If our fans are making more noise than a 50,000 stadium of Rangers who are loud, then our team punches above its weight, because although we've only got 10, 11,000, we sing like we're 30, 40, 50,000 or whatever. Chris said the same. I think Chris said 40,000, didn't he? But whatever it is, it's an incredible noise. And so when our players go away to all these grounds, and I've been to them all, we've been to every one last season and this season, and they're like libraries wherever you go. They have the odd little song here, or a little section of fans might sing a song a bit for a time. They're loud when they roar, when they're shouting at the referee for a penalty or a foul or a sending off, or they're roaring the team on as they go forward, but they're not intimidating grounds. They're not half as intimidating as Bloomfield Road, and that's why we do well. But so I'm hoping on Saturday now, because there's been lots of people coming in the stream saying, I'm not coming back to Blackpool till Appleton's gone. Well, he's gone. So now's the time to come back. Now's the time to get behind this team. And it's up to us to make sure that we don't go down. And it's our job as fans to cheer these lads on and just give them everything we've got to help them stay up, because none of us want to go down. Simon Sadler doesn't want us to go down. Brett Geraghty won't want us to go down. Bullshit Ben won't want us to go down. They will not want us to go down. So we have got to be back to our very best on Saturday. And I hope people are buying tickets and going, because he's no longer here and you can't have that as an excuse anymore. Marley, MCRL Marley says, reckon you should become gaffer. Well, I'll tell you what, they get shouted at by me. If I was gaffer, I wouldn't be stood there with bloody hands on me, with folded arms. And I would have picked a better side on Saturday. I can assure you I would. I don't think I'm a great manager, but I could have done. Joseph, hello Joseph. He says, I don't want to sound horrible here, but I've never been so happy to see a manager being sacked. But I would like to thank Appleton for tactically beating Peony 4-2. Yeah, we have to thank him for those sort of things, don't we, as well? Yeah, that was great. It was really great. Luke says, oh my God, Blackpool got no manager? No, well, we sacked him. Why, Luca, would you think we'd stick with him? Second from the bottom. Is it only Blackpool that's not allowed to sack a manager? Is it all right for every other club in the land to sack a manager who's second off the bottom, or even fifth off the top in the case of Norwich? They sacked their manager fifth off the top. So it's not an oh my God at all. It's a thank God we've got no manager. That's ridiculous. Joseph Joyce said, I would like to see either Stephen Gerrard or Ian Evatt as manager, but to be honest, I think it will be Chris Wilder or Richie Wellens. I'm not feeling the love for Richie Wellens, if I'm being honest. I don't think he's that popular here. He was never popular when he came back with any team. He was always booed and jeered. Toby Leron says, Ian Holloway back. Do we want Ian Holloway back? It's another one of those. We're bringing a former manager back that did well 12 years ago. He's done basically nothing since he left us. He may come back and be the knight in shining armour, but the trouble is, half of the fan base already hate Ian Holloway. I love Ian Holloway, and I would have him back, but it's just going to be the same thing. He's going to divide the fans. We don't need divided fans. We need to be excited about this manager. The fans need to be behind him from the start. And if Ian Holloway comes back, the amount of fans that can't stand him because of the things he said about the Oysons and how he's praised Carl and all the rest of it, he's upset so many people that he cannot come back and have all the fans behind him. And that's exactly what we don't want. It's our job as fans to be united and make the bloody noise that we can make at Bloomfield Road to help whatever manager comes in. And Michael Appleton, you know, he hasn't had that help for whatever reason. We've hated him from the minute, you know, and it's divided, and that's, you know, what we have contribute to the success or the failure, and we're as much to blame because we're divided. We've got to get back to being who we are, and we all know what we are and how loud we are. What about Holloway's right-hand man, Tomo? Well, I thought he should have got the job when Holloway left, to be honest. I think everybody did. He was caretaker manager for a while. Players loved him. Yeah, go for that, no problem. Maybe the Charlie Adam as his right-hand man. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Exactly. WG fan says, yeah, Luca, it's for the best. Yeah, it's not an oh my God. It's an oh thank God. Ryan Dunbar says, I see your passion here, Lee, is why I love this club. Yes, I could easily have stuck with Rangers, but no, I love Blackpool Football Club just like you and agree with every word you're saying. Good. I hope you do. You might not. If you don't, give me pelters in the comments if you don't agree with me. Blackpool Rock TV says, a polite suggestion, recommend people to like your video so it helps with the algorithm. Yes, like the video, absolutely, and subscribe if you haven't already. If you're enjoying this sort of content and you enjoy this kind of thing, then subscribe to the channel. Likes are really, really good, because if YouTube sees that lots of people are liking the video, then YouTube will promote it out. You know, it's one of those things. That's how you can help me. Steve Cooper now. Sam Thompson says, bang on Lee, this small club mentality is pathetic. We are a special club. Yes, we are. And if a manager comes in and doesn't understand what we are, then he's off to a failure from the start. If he's coming in straight away and saying, oh, you know, we overachieved, and when we play Sunderland, oh, we got to respect who they are and how big they are. Well, they didn't make us. I tell you, we went to Sunderland. It was like a bloody library there, apart from about 2 songs he sang in 90 minutes. And when we were on top of them in the second half, they, honestly, you could have heard a pin drop in that stadium. It was not intimidating. Whether there was 40,000 in there or not, it was nothing like Bloomfield Road. So I don't see why we had to give Sunderland or say, you know, they deserved any respect from us, because they don't. I'm going to put the number on in a minute, Blackpool Rock. Just give me one moment. Game Slayer says, good luck for the rest of the season, matey. From a blade. Love Blackpool. Great club. At least. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. David Coleman was in San Antonio when he heard the news. Harry Scobie says, why? Just wondering, why aren't you in the north? Because we've been in the south for a long, long time. It's just, I prefer the concourse there. And I actually, quoting Carl Crompton here on this as well, because I remember one of his idiots guys, you know, whatever they were, they put him in this cave and he was looking at like a palace. And he twisted it to say that I am better in my cave than they are in the palace, because I'm in my cave looking at a palace and they're in a palace looking at my cave. And I actually like to get the north, you know, I like to get the north stand, and I'm looking at this amazing north stand if I was in it. So I have a north stand cam anyway. We've got somebody in there filming for us, so I don't need to be over there. I get it from both angles. And I like that at the moment. And I like to see the north stand go up, you know. It would go up even more if not everybody was stood up. You know, if everybody sat down, it would be an amazing scene. But because they're all stood up already, but you do see them all jumping down, and I love that view on my camera. Stuart T says, I hope Blackpool get a manager who's good enough to keep you up. Wilder pleas from Badger Spoon. Is Charlie Adam up for management? We don't know. Mick McCarthy is rumoured. Yes, it's a bookie's favourite, but it's, you know, it's somebody says Mick McCarthy or sticks £5 on Mick McCarthy, and all of a sudden Mick McCarthy's favourite. Trust me, bookies, odds and everything are just on what the bets are going on. So if somebody's lumped on, you know, put say £100 on Mick McCarthy, then all of a sudden Mick McCarthy's favourite. So I'm not reading anything into that at all. Door on Tour is here saying we're not going to get Steve Cooper, no chance. Seaside Johnson, Critchley was unexpected in left field. Maybe this guy at Man United, Eric Ramsey, could be a good move. Critchley Mark 2 could be, but again, he's no experience, and I think at this moment in time we need some experience. Chris Houghton, you hated him, Door. Come on, you absolutely hated him. Stuart T said if Ipswich did not have McKenna as manager, Tony Mowbray would be my choice. Okay. Big Macca says the atmosphere should be rocking Saturday. It better be. And I hope, honestly, we are at our best on Saturday. And I hope people are going down and buying tickets and filling the ground, because a lot of people have been staying away and saying they're boycotting because of Appleton. You can't say that anymore. You got to come. Lewis says, wondering if the couple of rumoured signings Appleton mentioned have gone out the window. Now he has gone. Well, maybe he couldn't get them in. Maybe that's a reason why they've got rid of him. Maybe they're struggling to get people to come to the club. Maybe, you know how you talk a good story in the summer, you know, you get players to sign for you because you give them all these promises. We're going to be doing this, we're going to be doing that. When you get to this transfer window and you're second off the bottom, maybe players are saying, oh, no, I don't fancy it because Michael Appleton is not doing a good job. But now, because he's gone, you can start talking a bit of a bullshit story again, can't you, about how we're getting this new manager in, we're going to be finishing mid-table, and then next year we're going for whatever to get people in. That may be another reason why they've got rid of him, because they're struggling to get people in. No, I'm not bringing back Simon Grayson. No way. Eugene McGee said Blackpool should go after Rafael Benitez. Right, okay. We should not bring in former managers. Sick of... Yeah, Big Mac says we should not bring in former managers anymore. Sick of people saying that. Yeah, I don't want them in either. We've had enough now. We've had a few. They've not worked out. Blackpool Rock would rather have Goofy from Disney than Grayson coming back. Ollie Solskjaer, well, he did wonderful at United, didn't he? I don't think so. Edward Cooper says, I live in Cannock in the West Midlands and will be coming up for the game. Haven't been back to Bloomfield Road in 10 years, but went to West Brom and Coventry away this season, and you're coming to Bloomfield Road. Good man. Yeah, well, the fact we got 4 points out of 30, yeah, it doesn't inspire. It doesn't, and that's all under Appleton. So it's a hard sell, isn't it, to say, you know, it's going to turn around. You'll be looking at it as a player and probably coming on the message boards and thinking, I'm not going to touch him with a barge pole. So maybe he just had to go for that. Appleton currently has the longest winless streak in all 4 divisions for any current manager as of this morning. So there you go. You had to sack him, didn't you? It was ridiculous. Could be Chris Wilder. We'd sell for that, I think. Currently, you need a short-term manager that has experience surviving relegation than a better plan come pre-season to begin a new phase of developing the squad. Yeah, absolutely. If we can get somebody experienced at championship level who can save clubs, he would be ideal. True Red says, need a manager that's had no previous connection spells at the club. Okay, yeah, I agree with that. Steve Exley originally wanted Ian Everett. Appleton is a good coach, but a poor manager. Henry Forbes would like Steven Schumacher or Ian Everett, but would also like Wilder. Okay, so we'll take any of those. Mark Robbins. Yeah, he's done a good job at Coventry, didn't he? Chris Barton says Lee and Jane is the new management team. Yeah. James Bennett McNulty says, finally. Luke D is not the happiest that we sacked him. Was the only good thing for us Latics fans that you had an inept manager. Well, yes. And Agent Appleton, that all the Preston fans have been calling him. True Rest of Blackpool have always been a massive club for me. Last season you underachieved. You played some great stuff last season. Exactly. But Michael Appleton came in and said we overachieved, and that was a bad start. It was just a bad start. Michael's gone quiet. Indeed he has. Indeed he has. Come on, telling us, well, whatever he told us. And, you know, you don't come on to something and putting your head on the line and saying that, you know, this is gospel. Now trying to say maybe he read it wrong or whatever and didn't quite get the meaning, but should have clarified it. And this is the thing. People start getting angry about things that aren't even true. So it's not... wouldn't want Liam Richardson. I kind of agree with on that. Yes, it is easy to sack managers, and getting a good replacement isn't always that easy. Well, we know that, but really, could you have stuck with him with his record? Would you have stuck with him? It seemed pretty clear we were going down with him. Neil Warnock. Do we want Colin? I don't know. But again, Big Sam, it's another previous manager coming in. Do we want him? I don't know. James doesn't even like the way he chews chewing gum. Blackpool Rock said the club needs to have a forward-thinking mentality. So don't think we should hire any more former managers. It's not the right mindset. Right, can I get through a few more? Then I'm going to take a call. Warnock too old. McCarthy. What's this? Where's that gone now? Warnock too old. McCarthy too old. I take Wilder and maybe Warburton. Okay. You need to get Big Sam and Sammy Lee, but do we want a former manager again? This is the problem. Henry Forbes, no surprise that we sacked him midweek since I thought we would sack him straight after a game if we were going to sack him. Yeah. Well, maybe maybe they watched my channel on Monday and decided, Jesus Christ, yeah, Lee's right. He's absolutely right. Warnock would be incredible, according to Mirage Music. Hi, he's got a YouTube channel as well. Wilder is Bucky's favourite, but again, it's probably because somebody's lumped on him. Gerrard, Ryan Caffrey says. Edward Cooper, I'm also, Phil says, also from Cannock and a Blackpool fan. Huh? Well, there you go. Natalie Ferguson, hello Natalie. She says, you want someone with experience saving the club. Big Sam is usually the man. Yes, but he's a previous manager and that's something we don't want. Right, on Facebook, quickly, Stephen Hutchinson says, I've heard Nigel Worthington is coming back. God. David Osment says, God knows who the new managers will be, but he needs to bring 2 defenders with him, but at least Empty Head has gone well out of his depth. Michael is here saying the club is becoming the laughingstock of the Championship. Why? Why are we the laughing stock of the Championship? That makes no sense. To who? How many of these Championship clubs do you know we're a laughing stock at? It's just nonsense. Just nonsense. Garbage. Right. Glenn King said, the Sun favourite Mick McCarthy has to be laughed at. Why in any way him? Yeah, but it's not him. How do we know it's him? We don't know it's him. This is the whole point. I've got this all day from people posting me like, Mick McCarthy, oh, it's the end of the world. Well, is he official? Is he the Blackpool manager? Have you heard, confirmed from Blackpool FC on their website, Mick McCarthy is the new Blackpool manager. And if you haven't seen that, and that is not a thing, then it's not even worth talking about in whatever way. It's just pointless. It's a pointless conversation. You can talk about him when he's officially Mick McCarthy has been announced Blackpool manager. Then you can have a moan. But until it is, what it's like, I already said to somebody, it's like moaning about the end of the world is nigh. Until it actually is the end of the world and it's coming, live your life. You know what I mean? So you said, John said we should never employ a former manager or anyone with any kind of association with PNE. Right, I'm going to put the phone number onto the screen right now. There we go. So if you want to call in, we'll take a few calls now. As I say, if you phoned in the show before, I should have your number in. If you haven't, then I may not. And if you want to text me your number on that number, text me your name on that number, that would be great. Get that a little bit closer to me so I can reach it. Running favourite is Chris Wilder. Yes, exactly. Right, we've got a phone call here. Let's take this one, see who it is. Hello, what's your name?
Hi, it's Adam.
Hi, Adam. You're right.
You're right, mate. How you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. I'll have to get your number into your name in there, so I'll make sure it's in next time if I can do that. Yeah, how are you feeling? And where were you when war broke out? Where were you when the news came in that it was Michael that Appleton had gone?
Well, I've been off work today. So
oh right, okay. So you're at home.
I did get a very early spot of a rumour. It was the very early one. About 25 minutes before it exploded.
Right.
So I was having the conversation then, and then obviously I went back on Twitter about 20 minutes later, and it was everywhere. Telegraph, Sky were all over it. Yeah. And then it obviously happened, which obviously I was glad that it happened after our conversation the other night. And
yeah. Well, you'd had enough, hadn't you? You'd had enough on Saturday.
It's definitely the right thing to do.
Yeah. So you're very happy. Who? Obviously, the next difficulty is going to be getting somebody in who can do a job to save us. And you've probably been listening and reading the comments, and names that have been mentioned are Stephen Dobby, which I don't
No,
know.
not for me.
No, again, for me, he's unproven in it, and I think we need somebody. Sam Allardyce, Ian Holloway, Ian Everett, Chris Wilder seems to be a popular one. Mick McCarthy. Is there any of those that you fancy, or is there somebody else that you could throw into the...
Everett I'd take, but I don't think he'd come to us now.
Yeah.
Mick McCarthy, I believe he hasn't had a job for 2 years.
Did he not have... was he not at Cardiff?
I think it was a while ago now. I was trying to think about it before, and I can't remember whether he went to Ipswich after Cardiff.
He was at Cardiff when we played them the first game of the season. So that was which...
This year? Oh,
no, it was the year before. It was the opening game at home, and they were like... It was like Land of the Giants came, and Mick McCarthy was manager there. Do you remember? And they got a bloody... They got a winner that bounced off somebody's nose...
Yeah,
but hit his arm underneath, didn't it? But they were real... they really bullied us that game, and I came out saying it was like men against boys, but I didn't think we deserved to lose it because I just thought it was not a goal. I didn't think it was a goal. I thought it was handball before it went in. I think that was Cardiff, or was that Coventry? But we lost to...
No, I'm pretty sure... Well...
it was one of them games anyway, but they were definitely Coventry was handball, and Cardiff were just were just big. Oh yes, they had that big striker in, didn't they? A younger version of Gary Medine. What's he called? That went to Bournemouth. Cardiff had. They were really big, really big team.
That centre back, I think, it scored against us. That Flint.
Yeah, they were just a big angry side, but then he got sacked from Cardiff, didn't he? But Cardiff have sacked. I don't know. I was on a vlog on another YouTube channel with a Cardiff fan. He was saying something like they've sacked 16 or 23 managers over the last few since that town's been there. So they sack them like there's no tomorrow. So, so who else would you like to see in?
It's just a type. I think it's the type of football with McCarthy. I think he likes to play a lot of hoofball, but
I know,
and I think that's kind of against. I know. If we believe what the rumours say, the rumours are rumours. But I know a lot of people have been throwing it around saying that it's only going to be till the end of the season, potentially with a bonus for keeping us up. Yeah,
that would make sense. Would make sense because obviously the board have never implicated that we would be going and looking for a manager like Mick McCarthy. The way that they want to play football, the way that they want to bring young players into the club and potentially move them on in the future. So obviously, which is fine. Yeah, we get the best out of them, but I don't think in that sense Mick McCarthy's the man to do that. Do you think somebody like Mick McCarthy would be a kind of manager that could maybe potentially bring a few players in with him that would,
solid players?
Yeah, you know what I mean? That sort of, because we need to be a bit tougher in defence, don't we? If anything, we do need to be a bit stronger in defence as a team because we're very, we are weak. So an experienced manager may have some players that would follow him in and would come and play for him. Do you think that might be a pull? If you were,
I think we could get some experienced Championship players with McCarthy. But I think that maybe it's one of them. At the end of they're going to make the decision, and either way, it's going to go one way or the other. But I'll always stick by him. It's just. I just can't. I mean, out of all
it doesn't suit the black. This mantra that they keep saying, don't they? That they want a manager that plays the Blackpool way. Is it? I think that's what they're saying. So they want entertaining football, don't they?
Yeah.
And I get that.
I don't think we're gonna.
I get that.
I don't think we'll get that with McCarthy, though.
No, but at the moment where we are, second from the bottom of the league. Are we more bothered about just for this season, like say if it is a temporary, to the end of the season, would you forgo the Blackpool way if we could survive and finish maybe mid-table with a bit more of a sort of an older head shithousery, whatever it takes to stay up? Or would you
I'll
want
take
entertaining football that ultimately sent us down? I know.
Anything that keeps us up. For me, anything that keeps
anything,
us up,
yeah, you take anything. I think I would as well. Anything that would take us up. It wouldn't matter if it was long ball, hoof ball, throwing long, throwing, the whole thing that you see, bringing trainers on for injuries. Because that's another thing we don't do. If we're in trouble, we don't start like fanning around, going down injured and all this sort of stuff. We play honestly, and maybe we're not quite ruthless enough for this championship. And I think maybe a manager that was a bit more savvy, may not have conceded some of the late goals that we've conceded so far, and some of the really stupid defensive mistakes. I mean, that goal, the first goal against Watford, we were just, where were we? Where was they just ran through nobody, didn't they? It was one slip and they were in, weren't they? So
I'm hoping that they highlight them issues and they know, do you know what I mean? Like the issues in midfield.
Yeah.
They obviously have to have some kind of knowledge of the team, like you said before, and then the manager that appreciates the club that they're coming to and the fans.
Yeah.
That connection was never there with Appleton. It was just never there.
Yeah, we can't be having. I mean, I hope you agree with me on it that we want the stadium to be united and noisy and cheering them on. We don't want a manager that comes in that again separate, and divides everybody. And oh my God, not him. And we don't want that, do we?
No. And that's why I love going to it. I mean, I'm a season ticket holder. I sit in Blackpool in the north, and I love being in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I go with my friends. We go every game. We go to as many away games as we can.
Sure you do, yeah.
And that's what it's about. Like we need a manager to come in and understand the club and the community that we have.
Yeah.
Not someone that's going to come in and start saying, like you said before, that we overachieved last season. Well, no, because we put 100% into everything. We put 100% into supporting our club. We put 100% in on the pitch. And that's what needs to come from the manager, is someone who's going to come in and give 100% for our club.
Did you feel last season that we overachieved, or did you feel that we blew it?
I think we were about right. At one point, I thought, we could do something special here this season.
Yeah.
And probably on the balance of everything, I think that where we ended up finish, I'd say last season we probably were there for mid-table finish around that area, because we did enough, to stay up, but we didn't quite just do enough.
We flopped at the end, didn't we? But I have said that I believe that the reason it all fell apart is because Gabriel and Dujon Sterling both got injured, and they were playing fantastic, and that cost us. And of course, Critchley played some odd teams. The team he put out of the last game of the season against Peterborough was just he just went to lose basically, didn't he? Which I didn't get at all. No bowler in the team, was there, against Derby? No bowler against Peterborough. It was just a sad end, and I felt that. With about, I don't know, I think there's about 8 or 9 games to go. I was going in the Armfield Club and everybody was talking about playoffs. Everybody was, because we were going on a run and we were looking really good. And I thought, we were up there safe with like 2 months to go. We were, there was no chance of us going down, was there? It was all, could we make it? And I didn't think we overachieved at all last season. I thought we did fantastic. And I hope the new manager doesn't come in saying all that stuff. If he does, they can boot him out. In fact, if I was Simon Sadler, I'd be saying to him, "Don't be coming in and saying we're little Blackpool, and because you'll just upset people. It's rubbish."
But right now, I think I'm pretty confident we can pick up the 3 points at the weekend, whatever kind of situation we're in.
Right.
Whether that be with no manager, but I don't think the club have done this today without the plans of having some. I reckon we'll have someone in by Saturday. I reckon this is already pretty much done there or thereabouts.
You would hope they have. They've not just done this on a whim. They've been kind of, looking at managers and talking to managers, maybe, thinking he might have to go here. And they were probably giving him, they've given him a transfer window, and they probably, I would imagine Simon Sadler was thinking to himself that he's got Bowler back, he's got this Morgan Rogers that Appleton was bursting to sign, wasn't even the summer, but he was injured, and he got this German in, and I bet Simon Sadler's thinking, oh yeah, I've done enough here for him, and he just didn't bother using any of it, did he? And I think that maybe was the final straw for them, really, that he didn't play the players that they'd got him.
No,
it makes sense.
And I've seen a few more rumours in the last 20 minutes, half an hour about the was it the Eric Ramsey, or the lad from United, the coach there, the 30-year-old coach.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's basically he's not going to be coming to us. He's not going to be moving from there.
No.
Ten Hag has said that he wants him to stay at United, so I don't think that's going to be. And that's one of them where I'd be more happy with that in the summer, not now at this stage.
Yeah.
If we can get through and keep ourselves up, and then if we want to bring in a younger coach in the summer, where he's got time to gel in with the team, think about what he's going to do. Get someone else in who can support him.
We
assistant manager.
The big problem for us this summer was the fact that Critchley left, in the mid, just before really, the pre-season friendlies were coming in, and it took them a couple of weeks to get a manager. We cannot be in that situation. They have to have some sort of plan that, like you say, if this is just like a temporary position, that they've got somebody lined up for the summer that's going to come in, right at the start of the summer, getting players in early, and everything was wrong this summer because of Critch in many ways, and I do feel a bit sorry for Simon Sadler because of that, because he wouldn't have expected that. Well, none of us did they really? It was just one phone call and he was gone. But great, Adam. I agree with you on all of that. Thank you very much for your call.
Yeah, no worries. We'll just have to see what the lineup is on Saturday now.
Yeah, who would you like to see in then? What would excite you?
It's got to be. We've got to play in the midfield. It's got to be Dougal or Tribal with either Patino or Carey, one of the other.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Paveda come back into the team.
Yeah.
Obviously Bowler. I don't know who we're going to play at centre back. If maybe
that's going to be Williams at the moment, isn't it? Or maybe James Husband could come in, and Dom Thompson come back in at left back, and we've got this. Obviously, Andy Lyons to come in at right back, perhaps.
I'd like him to come back into the team.
Yeah, we got Connolly as well in there, haven't we, as well, who could maybe go in midfield.
Yeah. But,
we need some experience, don't we? Some hard lads.
We'll see. 2:00 Saturday.
We will. Thanks for the call. Thank you.
No worries.
Thanks a lot. Bye. Right, okay. Got a caller coming in. It is Wayne. Hello, Wayne. How are you? He's gone. Right, okay. We'll get to Wayne later. Let's just get back into the comments. He's back here again. Let's see if we can get him this time. Hello, Wayne. Are you there this time? Hello? No, he doesn't seem to be able to get through. Dennis Stoikov says, yes, we can be very noisy, but the songs are a bit wimpy. Hello, Wayne. Are you there this time?
Name for you.
Have you?
Yeah. Have you been Brian Kidd at Man City?
Okay. That's a bit left field. We've not heard of that one before. That's
well, he has been a manager, Brian Kidd, but with being on the backroom staff at Man City, again, what an experience there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he'd know Morgan Rogers, that's for sure, isn't he? He'd know him.
But no, he has took charge of Man City before Pep come. Right. As an oldie manager as well, and did all right.
Right. What makes you say him? Is that just something off your head, or have you heard a rumour, or
just what I've seen? I've not heard any rumours. Just what I've seen at City. He's only on the back room. It's like a test to go into Arsenal.
Right.
He's gone to Arsenal, done a decent job and learnt from Pep.
So it's not breaking news, and it's just you'd like to see him.
No, not breaking news. No.
Okay. All right. Are you happy that Appleton's gone?
Up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy he's gone. Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
But another name for you that might interest you, but they've not got the money for him.
Yeah.
I think he would be good. He's a Roy Keane.
Yes, he would be. He's the kind of manager who would really sort it all out, isn't he? But
You wouldn't want to upset him on the training day.
He's
I'll get in a
terrifying.
bad mood.
It'd be a wow if you got Roy Keane, wouldn't it? You know, we don't very often get wows.
Manager, he won't take any crap from anybody. Any player get disciplined straight away. They step out of line.
They'd be terrified of him, wouldn't they? Yeah,
but maybe another name as well, Steve Bruce.
Well, now Steve Bruce, would you really want him? I mean, if he's good, if he does well, he's off, isn't he? If he's doing well, he leaves like instantaneously, and then if he's not doing well, there's quite a few clubs have potted him recently, haven't they? West Brom in particular were hating him towards the end, weren't they? So whether he's lost his mojo over the years, I don't know. But he's always troubled me because he doesn't, if he's having success, he's looking at his next paycheck all the time. I think with Steve Bruce, you know what I mean? He's wanting to move up all the time, isn't he?
Well, like the Oxford manager, he's up and coming, does a quite a good job for Oxford, Carl Robinson.
Yeah, no, there's a lot don't like him. I don't think he'd be a popular choice. And he doesn't like us. I think he's made it quite clear a few times that he's not really keen on Blackpool, isn't he? So he didn't want to call me, turned us down once before. So I don't think he'll come.
I just think I agree with you. It's just somebody's got to come in who knows the championship.
Yeah.
If it's just playing the sea, as long as he knows the championship and he's in there and he knows how it works.
Yeah. Somebody who can save us. I know lots of people are trying to get through. I can see you phoning in, and it's obviously beeping in the stream as well. So I know you're trying to get through, but I can only do one at a time, and I don't have operators standing by, as they say, to keep you on hold. So
I think the one in the summer that Sunderland have got now, would I like the Mowbray there in the summer. I think he did all right at Blackburn. He's done all right at Sunderland, to be fair. I think he's a solid, hard manager.
Yeah, he might get into the Premier League, though, at the moment. Sunderland, they're still up there, aren't they? I don't know. They've got a shout, haven't they? I don't think they will do it. But
that shit's gone now. It would have been nice to see him in the summer coming. I think he was in mention, but never got an interview.
Right.
I think he would have been good.
Yeah.
Some good names. Well-organised team.
There's some good names there. Oh, somebody's saying get Alan Shearer in. He would be a good signing, a decent club for him to have a go with. Alan Shearer, would he want to come out of his cushy job at the BBC? He's all right there. He don't get any stress.
I think we just want, like you just said, I think we just want somebody who's organised. He's got a bit about him. Yeah. You can get the players playing good straight away. Get the players on side with him. Yeah. Buy into the plan of staying up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And get Jerry starting from the start and get him in form again. And just give the old stadium a lift. A bit of a lift.
It definitely needs a manager that's going to give us we need a lift, don't we? We don't want to be deflated with this. This is the big problem for Simon Saddle at the moment. He needs to get a manager that lifts the fans, doesn't he, and brings some excitement back into the...
Well, I know we're saying a full house on Saturday, but if you get this wrong, you might have an empty house. So I think he needs to get this appointment spot on. And he needs to listen to the fans, what the fans want, and get somebody the fans do like. And that are going to get bummed on seat again and get the atmosphere back again.
Yeah, I agree with you. Let's hope they do. Thanks a lot, Wayne. Thanks for the call. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, bye. Bye. Hello, who's calling? Somebody who wanted to swear, so I'm not having that. So thank you very much. Cut off. Let's see if we can get this one. Hello, what's your name? Hello. Oh, hi, Steve. All right. Hi, Steve. How are you?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
I'm good. How are you feeling, first of all? And where were you when you heard the news that Appleton...
I was during the week, mate. I had a day job. I was working on my computer at home.
Okay, yeah. So you're at home.
Yeah, I was at home. I heard, good news, excellent news. But everybody's repeating the same old thing, and we're getting the usual numpties repeating the names of people that really aren't ever likely to have been linked with us, aren't we?
Yeah, there's a sort of a I don't know what it is, but there's somebody posts on a tweet or something that it's, Mick McCarthy, and then suddenly everybody's retweeting that, and then the bookies are going for Mick McCarthy. Then you've got people saying, oh my God, if it's Mick McCarthy, that's the end of the world. I've had people saying he's the cheap option, which I doubt even if we did get Mick McCarthy, he would be the cheap option. He's managed at some pretty high levels, Mick McCarthy, and he's a big name. You wouldn't get him for cheap, so I don't buy into that sort of negativity, and I think it'll just be somebody we probably don't even think about, because it normally is, isn't it?
Well, I'll tell you what I think.
Go on.
For what it's worth,
yeah.
This is just me. They've already got somebody lined up. They know who it is. They wouldn't have sacked Appleton until they got somebody lined up. Yeah?
Yeah.
The announcement that said they were hoping to appoint somebody in the next couple of days.
Yeah.
If they weren't planning it, they would have said, we're putting Steve in charge or whatever.
Yeah, we're doing interviews and we're going to get the right man, blah, blah, blah. We're going to go through due process.
But let's just take a step back from here and look at the statement that they made very carefully.
Yes.
Yeah? The statement is from the club.
Yeah.
It's not from the CEO. It's not from the chairman. It's not from anybody. There's no names attached to that statement. Where is Ben Mansford?
I know. Where is he? He's probably interviewed. I don't know where. I don't know where he is, but
this is where you'd expect the CEO
to come out
making a statement or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah? It's not the chairman and the CEO. Somebody. But the fact that there's no names making anything in there makes me think there's more going on behind the scenes.
Hey, maybe. What do you think? He's been potted as well. Then do you think he's
I don't know.
He's been seen. He's got his P45.
I think Mansford and Appleton had a close working relationship, and I think Appleton got the job basically on Mansford pressure. Right. It was Mansford's influence that gave him the job. This is my reading into it. He certainly said he already knew him from the past and we'd worked together before.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't think if he did sort of really recommend him that you'd think Simon Sadler maybe not quite have quite as much trust in him.
Possibly. I mean, I just think the interesting thing is if we're saying that they are listening to the fans.
Yeah.
I've not heard a lot of fans say anything positive about Mansford at all.
No, well, he's bullshit, Ben, isn't it? You know, his name is bullshit, Ben, isn't it? Too.
Yeah. I think the problem is that Simon Sadler has bought the club. He loves the club. He's a fan. Yeah, that's great. But he's also a businessman. And what he's done, he's delegate, and he's brought in who he feels were the best people he could to run the club on his behalf.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which I feel a bit sorry for him at times.
Yeah, and what he's done is he's brought in.
You're just going in and out a bit, Steve. Yeah, I don't know what you do.
Football professionals to run the club.
Yeah.
Yeah, that don't really know about Blackpool and the town. Yeah, whereas you might be better off bringing somebody in that knew more about Blackpool and the club and learn the other bits, because you can't, you're not going to find exactly the right fit, but maybe he's come at it from the wrong angle.
Yeah.
But I just think that basically.
Yeah, I mean, I would be similar to Simon Sadler. You know, if I had all these millions and whatever, and I bought Blackpool Football Club, I would also be wanting somebody sort of who could advise me. You know, who would let me know, because I've never dealt with I've never dealt with football, never dealt with football contracts, never dealt with managers, never dealt with any of it, and you can't just buy a football club if you've never, done that sort of thing and just go in on your own, because you do need advice, don't you? You do need advisors, and I just feel that he hasn't had the best advisors. Critchley was lucky.
I think he might have brought the wrong people in.
Yeah.
I also think that what you've got to remember is the way Simon has made his fortune is by basically shuffling figures on pieces of paper. It's all imaginary money in the air.
Of course, yeah.
He's not made a fortune out of a business that uses people.
Yeah,
uses people as resources.
Yeah, exactly.
That requires personalities and things.
Yeah.
He's made money on technicalities.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's not used to running a business with people.
No.
And personalities where people make decisions to do things. He's used to running a logical, organised money-making machine. So
he does need help, doesn't he?
That he can trust that does the job. And I think he thought Mansfield was. But whether he still is, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we shall see, Steve. Yeah. That's got us all thinking.
I thought that's, I just thought rather than let's talk about the same names over and over again. There are some obvious ones. I think I think saying Chris Wilder is quite a good call.
Yes, I actually quite fancy him. I don't know whether we'll get him, but he did fantastic with Sheffield United, didn't he? Yeah, let's be honest.
He started off in the Championship at a club not doing particularly well.
Yeah, got him in the Premier League.
Sheffield United and got them up.
He did.
But he hasn't done much. The other one is, what's he called? Dean Jones.
Yes.
No, sorry, Dean Smith. What's he called?
What was it?
Ex-Villa boss.
Yes.
Yeah. Because he started at Brentford when they were in League One.
Yeah.
And that's how he made his reputation at a small club.
Right.
And then he went to Villa and couldn't really do much at Villa. And then he went to Norwich and didn't do it at Norwich. So maybe he needs to take a step backwards.
Is he the one that's just been sacked by Norwich?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know what... and they were 5th in the league.
Yeah.
So, they just had a couple of bad results, haven't they? And, oh, God. I was like, bloody hell, they can...
There's a lot to be said for people who have recently tried to make a step up to a big club and not made it, need to start rebuilding the careers at a smaller club.
Exactly. Maybe we need one of those. That's a good shout, Steve. Thank you very much.
So there you go. I'm going to bugger off because you've got a queue.
I know. Harry Wake's trying to get through. I can see him keep coming on. So
my little one's happy now. I've been on your show.
All right, okay. Come on anytime. It's all right. I've got your number logged now, so I'll know it's you next time. Okay. Thank you. Bye. Well, there you are. Interesting call there. Let's see if I can. Right. I've seen Harry Wakes trying to get through. So, Harry, if you want a phone, now is your time. I'll try and get you. It's just I can't do anything about the order. Phone calls are coming in, and you really just have to wait until I've finished one thing before. Barry Lucas says, yeah, one promotion with Villa to the Premier League. Yeah, indeed. Answer, there was rumours agents knew he was actively looking for a manager 2 weeks ago. The starting lineup at the weekend would explain Appleton knew too. Could well do. Right, let me try this one. Hello, what's your name? What's your name? Hello? Oh, I'm not getting anything from that one. Okay, they've gone. Right, sorry, I couldn't hear you on that one. Tony Poulis says David Osmond. Mansfield is connected with Mick McCarthy. Should he take the hot seat? If he does, we don't know. Sean Dyche has been mentioned loads of times. I don't think he'd come there. Brian Murray says he reckons Dean Smith must be in the running. Maybe, yes, maybe indeed he is. Gary Megson. Yeah, Chris Wilder. Somebody's saying, what is the beat? That is somebody calling into the phone when I'm on the phone. So there's not a lot I can do about that. I don't have a team of operators standing by that can take the calls. It's just me. You're phoning into this phone. So if you can't get through, it's engaged. Just call again a bit later because the beeps just keep coming and there's nothing I can do about it because it's the phone telling me that somebody's calling me when I'm on a call. So best we can do. Right, it's a private number. I won't answer that. Sorry. Lee Gunn, hi Lee, what do you think about Stephen Dobby and Gary Taylor Fletcher? I don't know because neither of them have been managers, have they? Stephen Morse, Stephen Hutchin, Roy Keane is. Steve Huntley says, I think the board have waited till midweek in order to get someone in place. Maybe they have. Let's have a look at Facebook quickly because if I can get across to Facebook. I'm on Facebook. Matthew Duffin says the question you have to ask yourself, like us Wigan fans, will a new manager get anything different out of the players? I chat daily with a massive Blackpool fan, and injuries to your squad. It hasn't helped. Obviously, yes, it's injuries. I have mentioned before that it's not totally been Michael Appleton's fault. He's had lots of injuries. He's had red cards to deal with, and we've had 8 of them. So, any manager under those circumstances would be struggling. Poetry from the Piddle says, has to be a temp until the end of the season. Mick McCarthy would kick ass and might work. You can't play hoofball with Bowler in the team. No, you can't. Indeed, you can't. You're right. Yeah, we won't get Solskjaer, says Martin. No, I don't think we'd even be trying for him, to be honest. Mark Stewart says, just make sure whoever it is doesn't have fruit in his name. Right, another private number. I won't answer you if it's a private number. I keep saying if you want to put private number, I get the idiots phoning on private numbers, and I won't take them. Just purely, it's just not worth the risk. Houghton could save us. Matthew says, as a Wigan fan, I'm deeply saddened to hear you didn't keep Appleton. Only we were going to finish above somebody this season. Yeah, it's not good news for you, is it? George BFC said it's great news indeed. Kieran Glover says, Mick McCarthy is a survival expert. Don't know why people are against them. We do need somebody who can keep us up. Mark Porter says, it feels like a dark cloud has left Bloomfield Road. Now Appleton's gone. Right, okay. Somebody with a phone number? Oh, Gareth. Hello, Gareth.
Oh, hello. Hi, Lee. You right?
I'm fine, thanks. Welcome to the show. Where were you when you heard the news that Michael Appleton had gone? Like, where were you the day war broke out? Where were you?
I was at work.
Yeah.
And I was just, funny enough, I was just walking past a colleague of mine who's a season ticket holder like me.
Yeah.
And he shouted into his office, and I went, what's up? He went, he's gone. And I went, who's gone? He went, he's gone. I said, who? Who was gone? Who do you think? He says. I said, I don't know. I said, Appleton. I thought he was joking.
Yes.
But I never expected it to happen. Honestly, I didn't. And honestly, I felt like, well, I think I put a comment on your thing. I felt like a kid on Christmas Day morning.
I know, yeah.
It was unbelievable because, and funny enough, we have another lady in Blackpool team, and we were all beaming, smiling. It was honestly, I was running around work like an idiot. I had a spring in my step.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just because I honestly think that this will lift Blackpool Football Club. I think it'll lift the crowd on Saturday. I already know people who have got tickets now are going because of what has happened. And this is what we need. We need a lift. The players need a lift. And we need to get that voice back at Bloomfield Road because it is unbelievable when we get going.
It is. That's exactly what I was saying. It needs the fans. We can lift. Somebody's calling on a private number, and I'll keep declining. You can keep phoning, but I won't answer a private number, so it's pointless. Phoning me, yeah. We and I've always believed it. We make Blackpool punch way above the weight. So with us behind us, I always feel we're not little Blackpool. And
no, absolutely not.
Yeah, I'm glad you agree.
Yeah, and I get that why that it does annoy me. And I tell you what, for these people who say little Blackpool, maybe Mr. Appleton should think about stuff like this before it comes out in them comments.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Chris was the other way around, wasn't he? Yeah. He was getting angry that we were being called Little Blackpool, and he was trying to make the point at the time that we sound so loud, and we're not. And we're not.
For a so-called little club, I'll tell you what, we've got one hell of a rich history for one.
We certainly have.
And I could reel off a few facts. Who was the first Ballon d'Or winner ever? I'll tell you who it was. It was Stanley Matthews when he was at Blackpool.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the first one. That's the first notch on the bedpost for us.
Yeah.
The most successful team in playoff history is Blackpool.
It is.
That's another one. The most famous FA Cup final of all time.
Blackpool.
1953. We are FA Cup finalists 3 times. And here's another little.
Who won the Anglo-Italian Cup?
Exactly.
And then
I was leading to that because this is a little
runners up the year after.
Exactly. But another little fact that people don't realise, Blackpool are the only side in Lancashire, and I say Lancashire, to have ever won a European Cup, and that is the Anglo-Italian Cup.
Yeah.
Liverpool are in Merseyside, United and City are in Greater Manchester. They don't count. So
somebody actually said to me, and I didn't know this, but apparently the third year of the Anglo-Italian Cup, we should have been in it again, but for some reason we had the most points, but Newcastle got in on some sort of tricky thing, so we should have been in it again. We should have been in it 3 again. This private number, you waste your time. Don't call me on a private number, thank you. They keep calling.
You know, And it's like Alan Ball. People forget Alan Ball. When he won the World Cup in '66, he was a Blackpool player.
Yeah.
You know, he only went to Everton after he'd won the World Cup with Blackpool in England. Then he went to Everton. You know, so we have a lot of history in our club that people should be proud of. Jimmy Armfield, apart from being in the '66 squad, although he sadly never played, he was at one time possibly renowned for being one of the best fullbacks, if not the best fullback in the world.
Yeah.
For a stage when he was at England and Blackpool.
Indeed,
Yeah,
and he was
so
England
much
captain
history.
at one time, wasn't he?
Exactly. So these people who say little old Blackpool, they are absolutely, well, as I say, we are little. We have got one hell of a history.
And which is the team that's been at the top of the first division for the longest ever, and we'll have a record that will never ever be beaten. Us, because we were top of the league when war broke out in 1939, and we were still there in 1945.
Exactly.
So we spent nearly 6 years top of the League One. So you can never, nobody will ever beat that record. It'll stand forever. So we're not little Blackpool, and. My dad always used to say we were a sleeping giant. You know, he would always believe that we were a sleeping giant, and it was just all those years of being held back by the Oystons, really, and the total lack of spending on anything, really, and the failed plans and all these things they had that never happened, and the fact he went to prison for whatever. You know, the whole thing was just a disaster with the Oystons, and Carl was never any better, really, was he? To be honest.
Thankfully, that's history.
Yeah, it is history.
Well, hopefully, we'll never repeat. But,
we're also
hopefully not in my lifetime.
We're also the only fan base to ever do a 5-year boycott of the the games because we were being fans were sued. So we're a pretty powerful fan base, and we are noisy, and we do punch above our weight, and we certainly do make the team.
In our time,
we have,
we on the field or off the field, so we're doing all right, but. Equally, we're only on about atmosphere. And I have a few Preston fans who are not, and friends, they're good people. They just support their club like we do ours. But and even one of them said to me only last week, he said, I've got to admit, he said, Blackpool, the atmosphere at Blackpool is brilliant. He said it's better than Deepdale. And now that is coming from a Preston fan. I'm not making that up.
Harry, I can see you calling in. Just it's beeping on the thing, so I'll get to you, Harry. I do see you calling in. Sorry, yes, it's better than Deepdale. Well, of course it's better than Deepdale.
He complimented the atmosphere at Blackpool, Yeah. So again, it's something special when it gets going, and I'm really hoping on Saturday. I would love the north, the west, the south.
All to be singing,
totally be in song. I'd love it to be like when we played Southend that first game back after the Oystons left. When the ground was full. I would just love that on Saturday because it feels a little bit like that to me. Something unique happened again. With some sense, we've got rid of the person who was bringing us down.
Yeah.
Let's get together. Yeah. Let's get back up and let's stay up.
And let's hope loads of people buy tickets that haven't been coming and just, roar us on because we need it. Exactly. And I tell you what, there's another thing for me as well. I know Huddersfield are annoyed about their online goal at technology, but I still can't forgive Huddersfield for ruining the day for us when we opened our new stands. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. The day we opened the new stands, we played Huddersfield, if you remember, and I think it was he Leon Knight scored the winner, if I remember rightly, and ruined the day for us on that day when it was our new stands, and I haven't forgotten. And so I always want to beat Huddersfield for that reason only, because they did spoil that day for me, really did. It was a historic day when we got all our new stands, and everybody was buzzing, and they just and then that bloody.
I'll say one more thing, don't you, Lee, because I know there's people queuing. I mean, this is just I would love someone like Mr. Wilder if we could get him to come to Blackpool, Chris Wilder.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking it would be so ironic if he did come. Wouldn't it be great? Because possibly his first away game would be Middlesbrough away. I mean,
that would be ironic. That would be that would be a nightmare for them. Harry keeps calling. Harry, I will get to you. Harry, honestly, just leave it for a minute and I'll get to you because you just keep beeping on the thing. Right, thanks, Gareth. Great call. We are bigger than Little Blackpool, aren't we? And you've proved it. You've proved it. You've backed it up. You've come on with loads of facts.
There you go.
He's here again. I'm going to have to answer him. Right. See you later. Thank you.
Great show.
Thank you.
Hopefully see you Saturday.
Take care.
Bye.
You too. Blooming heck, Harry. Do you not listen to what I'm saying to you on the live stream? I've told you about 20 times now to keep phoning in. I will take your neck so I can see when it's you. But if you keep ringing in when I'm engaged, it just beeps on the live stream. So I was going to wait for you to call. Oh, he's gone. There we are. He's gone. Oh, well, he came and he went. So there we are. Harry, phone in now when I've got nobody on. Right, he's here. Yes, Harry, hello.
Yes, I'm trying to get through, Lee.
I know you are, Harry, but I can only answer one person at a time. And I kept telling you on the live stream.
You're not talking to nobody. You're reading messages.
I'm not. How far are you in the stream, Harry? You may have to bump it up a little bit. We're probably way ahead of you.
Oh, all right.
I kept telling you in the stream, I'll get to you, Harry, in a minute.
Right,
so how are you? Happy today, surely?
Well, yes, but I'll tell you when I ring you. This bullshit's got to go and Garrity.
So is this now your excuse not to come now? You're not coming till they go as well now? Is that your new thing?
No, I'm putting my suit on and my orange tie Saturday and I'll be at the game.
Good man, good man, good man. It's got to, he's gone. You said you would come back the minute he's gone. You were never coming back to Bloomfield Road until Appleton goes. And I kind of agree with you. There's not a lot of love for Ben Mansford at the moment, probably due to the summer transfer window and, the appointment of Michael Appleton, which will be down to him. So you kind of got to blame him for quite a few of these mistakes, haven't you? I'm pretty sure they're not Simon Sadler's mistakes because he'll have brought him in to advise him. Who would you want in then? Who would you want to... I don't think Ben Mansford is a job for the boys. I don't think Simon Sadler knew Ben... Brett Garrity, yes, because he wanted somebody that he could trust to run his football club when he's...
Wilder would be a good test, but I think he might have a bigger fish to fry. Now, McCarthy would do a good job for us.
I think he would.
A previous caller coming on about Keane being strong. If he goes back 16 years... McCarthy bolted him back away from World Cup.
Yeah, he did.
For trying to run show. So
he did.
Keane's not the answer.
He's got. I like Mick McCarthy. I know a lot of people don't like his football, but I think it doesn't matter at this moment in time. We need to get safe, and I think he would get us safe. He's the kind of manager that would get us safe. Yeah.
Neil Warnock would, but I think he's not in best of health. But
no.
He'd have got us out. But McCarthy will do us a job.
Yeah.
But Simon, he needs to get somebody in that knows about football. He's got 2 lawyers running the show.
Yeah.
It's like having Ian Holloway representing a rapist in prison or a serial killer and defending him. Won't work.
No.
The lawyers.
So who...
The law.
Is there anybody that you would recommend that Simon Sadler gets in? Because... I would imagine. I don't know any.
Another shout I'd do. I'd give Tomo a ring.
Yeah.
And if Tomo's interested, say, right, you want me to ring Ian Holloway up? He could go upstairs for you. You were in charge of the first team. Holloway is there looking for talent for you.
But would that be popular, Harry? The problem with... Would Ian Holloway be popular? Because he's not popular.
In the background, looking for talented players. Not to do with Peaks or Tomo Peaks. Holloway's looks.
So would you have Ian Holloway replacing Ben Mansford? Is that?
Have a look at this lad.
Yeah. We need. I mean, honestly, Harry, if I was Simon Sadler and I just bought a football club, I wouldn't have a clue who could help me. I would have to hope that the person that employed...
I wouldn't.
No.
But I'd go and find somebody that does know about football, because it's clearly that Mansford and Garrity know jack shit. I know more about football than them two put together.
I'm not sure,
I'm not blowing my own trouble.
The thing about Brett Garrity, and I understand what you're saying, but he's a very good friend of Simon Sadler, who he trusts, you know. So he'd be like your best mate, wouldn't he? If you're living in Dubai, say for instance, and you've bought Blackpool Football Club, you've won the Euro Millions, you sat there with 185 million, you sat in Dubai, and you want somebody that you can trust that can look after and run the club for you. You know what I mean? And I think that's what Brett Garrity is. I think he's that.
But they can't, Lee.
I know they can't, but you would trust your mate more than you trust somebody you don't know. You know,
no,
I think that's why he's there.
If I wanted a lawyer, Brett Garrity's my man.
I know.
Just say I own a garage.
But I don't think Brett Garrity's running the club. I don't think Brett Garrity is running the football side of things. I think he's more... I think Brett Garrity will be more in charge of, say, making sure that Martin Booker is getting, things in. He'll be there making sure that the people who are putting the signs in the stadium are doing it well. He'll be there looking at the paint on the outside.
That's a commercial manager's job.
It probably is, but Brett Garrity will be making sure that all those things are done. But I very much doubt that Brett Garrity is there telling Simon Sadler who the manager should be, because he will have as little idea on that as I would or you would. So I just think he's there as a presence for Simon Sadler, who obviously can't be here day to day, and he can ring Brett Garrity, and Brett Garrity will tell him straight as a die what the problems are, what problems we got, with this manager, that manager, with the hotels, whatever it is. He needs somebody there, and I think that's all Brett Garrity is, really. I don't think he is anything to do with the football.
Brett Garrity's not man for a job.
Yeah. So
he's a lawyer.
He is, but...
He's his best mate. He's a lawyer.
I know, but he's got to have somebody there, Harry, that he trusts, hasn't he? He's in bloody Singapore. He's got to have a man there that Simon Sadler trusts.
That knows about football.
For the football side, I get that, but he needs...
He knows about football. He's a lawyer.
No, but he knows...
No disrespect to any lawyers that's listening, by the way.
I get that, but Brett Garrity isn't running football. He's not running the football club. He's
Who is then? Who is running club?
I don't know. All the other managers they've got in, and Ben Mansford's dealing with the...
Ben Mansford don't know jack shit.
Well,
Bet Namford's no asked to play at field. That's why
he's been in all these jobs in football before, hasn't he, Ben Mansford? He's not like he's...
Look, he were at Barnsley and he left, and then he went to Leeds and he left. Then he went to Tel Aviv for 3 years and kept it background, and now he's back over here. We've got that Drinkle, 200 grand a year. You not play 10 games.
No.
20 grand a game, it's not bad, is it, if you can get it?
I get that.
For boys.
I get that, but...
Got this Rodgers
in defence of Bridcut, when he actually played, he was a fantastic... We beat Watford because of Bridcut. In that second half, he changed the game, and we were raving about him, but he got injured, and I'm sure that they were getting him because he is a class player, Bridcut. It's just unfortunately...
He got injured. What's up with him?
I have no idea.
What did he do? Break his leg?
I don't know, Harry. We don't hear, do we? But
he'll not play 10 games this season.
No, he won't. And that's a shame.
And then he's got that Rodgers. He's another job for boys.
Is he?
Tell you
he's highly rated at Man City. He's highly rated.
Yeah. Them young ones are highly rated. That come, but Rob Apter's as good as them.
Well,
Everybody's got their own opinion.
I can't judge Morgan Rodgers yet. All I know about Morgan Rodgers is he hit the crossbar in the final against us. That's all I know about him. Apart from that, I don't know anything about him.
He's Appleton's pal.
Yeah, because is he Appleton's pal, or just Appleton, or is it the fact that Appleton had him as a player for a season with Lincoln, saw how bloody brilliant he was at Lincoln, and wanted him our team? Is he? Well, surely he's bringing him in on the fact he knows he's a good player.
It's same with Scrafton. He's up Appleton's ass because he used to work for Lincoln Sports when Appleton was here. If anybody says Appleton's a good manager, well, they're living in land at cuckoos.
No, well, I think it's been proven.
Because if anybody could tell me they've enjoyed the game under Appleton this season.
Preston.
I'll buy
I loved it. I loved it. Beating Preston 4-2. I loved it. I enjoyed the game away at Coventry. I enjoyed the first game of the season, which we beat, straight away. We beat Swansea.
We won league.
Sheffield United was an amazing game, Harry, away from home when we got 3 sent off. And that. It was amazing. Yeah. We played brilliant that day. With 9 men, we played brilliant. So there's been some highs, but there's been lots of lows, Harry. There's been lots of lows.
Well, I ain't seen him on. He should never have got a job anyway. He walked out on us once.
Do you not remember us scoring 4 against Preston, Harry? Have you just erased that from your memory?
Yeah, everybody's scoring 4 against Preston.
Have they?
Look at how many goals they've had against them.
Yeah, but when have we scored 4 against Preston? You've got to go back to about 19. I can't remember when last time we scored 4 goals.
You've got to agree, Lee, the performances
have been on the whole dire. Yes, they have. They haven't been. It's been terrible. The writing was on the wall, Harry. From the pre-season was terrible. The pre-season was garbage.
I'm a passionate fan.
So am I. I'll go to them all, Harry.
And if the team loses, have worked well and done a job, I've not got a problem. These lads, this squad that we've got, are good enough to get out of this mess.
Of course they are.
Manager.
Yeah.
They're working the socks off on that field, but they haven't got a pattern or a system. They don't know what they're doing. They've got no leadership from Appleton.
No, well, he doesn't do much leading on the pitch, does he? He doesn't shout.
He should have been sacked before the Middlesbrough humiliation at home.
Yeah.
He should have been sacked before then. Or what keeping him at a job?
4-year contract, I would think, probably was keeping him at the job.
No, well,
now here's a thought for you, Harry, because Jane said this to me, and it kind of made me. I forgot to mention it actually, but do you think that we've sold Jerry Yates and we're getting money in for him, and that allowed us to sack Appleton and pay him off? Could that be? Is Jerry Yates going?
How much have we paid him off?
Well, I've no idea. He had a 4-year contract, so I've no idea.
There'll be clauses in that. The money, if he has got to pay him 800 grand, because he'll have had 60. Now, till end of the season, the gate receipts will pay that off. But he's not going to get that. But that's what he's after.
Well, Yorkshire are coming. Market Raisin are coming. They're coming in Tangerine. I can't wait to see you here, and I hope the new manager brings us joy.
He's got a year's salary at least for 7 months' work. That ain't bad, is it? So it weren't a cheap option, really.
It's not bad being a football manager. End of.
I'd like to know how much his agent got in an envelope for getting him a job.
My dad would always say, "I'd love to be a football manager. You lose every game, and then you go on 6 months gardening leave with $1 million in your back pocket. It's not so bad, is it?" I could be a manager for the season and take us down and get some gardening leave. It's not a bad job. It's not a bad job being a football manager.
When Oystons were in charge, they end up not a penny more. What's safest job in football? Blackpool's manager. Because Oyston wouldn't sack him.
No, I know.
Appleton came to work for the Oystons. All the football world knew what the Oystons were about. But why did Appleton want to work for that man when he knew it was a bad apple?
If I can get him, honestly, if I can get Michael Appleton on a stream, I'll find the answer for you. But I don't know. I don't know.
He came for a job.
Yeah.
That was all. Not bothered about results on pitch like he now. It was a job to him, 12 months. Then Blackburn Rovers come calling. He left us. And in the Evening Gazette, he put in, "I've left for a bigger club with history." That was Appleton's words when he went to Blackburn Rovers. And then we had that not a penny more. Mansford came in, took note about the town or the fans, and then he sets Appleton on. Well, that did it for me, because I haven't been while he's been in charge.
I know you haven't.
I'll tell a lie. I went because my very good friend Michael Haig arranged to meet me at Wigan. I went with Yorkshire Seasiders. I was going to stay in pub all afternoon, but Michael got me a ticket, so
you suffered
I
it.
had to go.
You suffered it. But was that what was the loss at Wigan Appleton's fault, or was it Marvin Ekpiteta's fault? Yeah, that's the thing.
It could be anybody's fault. What it fault?
It was
referee's fault. It was linesman's fault.
It was Marvin Ekpitessa's fault, and I thought it was a bit harsh. I thought it was a bit harsh.
Enough to win match, Lee.
With 10 men for 80, what, there was 73 minutes with 10 men. It's not easy. It's not easy.
Teams play better with 10 men. Appleton doesn't know his best 11.
No, I'm glad he's gone, Harry. I'm glad he's gone.
No, I don't think you are. I think you and Jane liked him.
I did like him as a person. I liked him, and I wanted to back him, and I wanted to be behind him, and I wanted him to do well, because if he did well, we would do well, and I wasn't going to get on his back from day one, because I believe in supporting Blackpool and making as much noise.
No personality, no charisma, no rapporteur with fans, and nothing. No. But you might as well just shove a pram up and down promenade all day. Get more enjoyment out of that than watching him fold his arms on halfway line doing bugger all. No, I'm glad he's gone.
Yeah, I think everybody's glad he's gone, actually, to be honest. Even we are now. Even I'd had enough.
That's not the end of our troubles, because you've got Mansford and Geraghty. They've got to go. What Simon's got to do, spend a bit of money if he wants to big club, and get proper people in, football people.
Well, I'm glad
somebody like Jimmy Armfield, if he wasn't alive.
Yeah,
ideal. Why don't you ask Tony Green to come and run things for him?
I don't think Tony Green is that well. Probably now he's getting on a bit.
You know what I'm saying, though. You need football men to run a football club. You need butchers to run a butcher's shop. You need a mechanic to run a garage. You need a bus driver to drive a bus, not a bloody kid on a moped, because he ain't got a clue.
Brilliant. Yes, absolutely summed up perfectly, Harry. So we need a football man in, get Mansford out, get Geraghty out, get them all out, everybody out, one out, all out.
That's his best mate. Geraghty could be saying background, if I need out to do a law with club,
you can ring him.
Man, Brett. But for you, Ben Mansfield, you brought that lunatic in.
Well,
a 4-year contract, which has never been known.
No, I know.
In 60 years while I've been watching them.
No, it was stupid.
A manager has never had 4-year contract from the off.
I don't think they'll ever do it again, Harry. I don't think they'll ever do it again.
And some bloody players are signing for stupid money and letting good lads go for 200 for sake of 200 grand, and then he gets that drink along for 41 a week, and all that Bishop wanted were 4 grand. They offered him 3.8. I
know you keep quoting these figures, Harry, but have you actually seen these? Where are you getting all these figures from? Because they don't.
Well,
you certainly won't be getting it from anybody that has seen the contract.
I mean, the excuse was he failed a medical. How many goals has he scored for Portsmouth this season? 10, 11?
Yeah, loads. I know, but
you fail a medical.
There's a big rumour mill, Harry, and it's not all true. It's not all true. We can allege these things, but we don't know for certain.
Far off it.
They won't. They're as tight as a duck's arse in that. Them three. They don't give anything away. So I'd be surprised if.
Who's them three?
Well, all Geraghty, Sadler, and. Bullshit Ben. I'm sure they're telling everybody down the pub how much the contracts are and how much they're paying people. I don't think that for 1 minute they would even enter into that. They would even let that come out.
You can go on a website and they'll tell you everything out what players are on. Every club. I'll send you a link.
And how does this website get this information, though? How do they get this information?
Probably through their agents. I don't know.
I don't know either. Well, you have to send me the link to this website and we can quote them, because we can't quote anything else because it's all allegedly at the moment. People are already kicking off in the... You are?
Am I live?
Yes, you are live. Absolutely live, yes.
Yeah, anyway, if anybody wants to buy me a pint, get out for it.
Right, see you later. So, bye, Harry. While we're getting sued... all this is allegedly, by the way, folks, as well. It's not... gospel.
No,
we've got it off the way.
My thoughts.
Thanks, Harry. Thanks. I've got your mate Leather. I've got your mate Michael coming on. He's bursting to get on. So let's see what he has to say.
Anyway, just let me leave you with this.
Go on.
You get a member of board coming on and introduce himself as Bullshit Ben, there's something wrong at club. I'll leave it at that.
Right, okay.
I'll leave it at that, mate. But thank you very much for taking my call.
All right. See you later, Harry. Bye. Bye.
I ought to be million and passionate because I'll tell you now.
I know. I'll let you go so I can answer Michael because he's trying to get through. Right. See you later, Harry. See you on Saturday. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye. Michael, I know you've been calling, but I've had Harry on. He's been telling everybody how much everybody's on and that everybody needs to go. Everybody needs to go, according to Harry, the whole lot. Brett Geraghty.
Well, there's an official site, by the way, just to let you know, regarding players' wages. How accurate that is, who knows?
I know exactly. We can only be allegedly, Michael. I was trying to tell Harry.
It's on the website.
Yes, anyway. So you can all go to that website. It's not official what we're saying on this channel, and we don't want to be in trouble for saying things that we're not entirely sure if they are or they're not.
Defamation of character. There's not many laws we don't know. Anyway, I'll jog on from that one for the time being. Anyway, just to let you know, there is a little bit of rumour breaking news.
This is Michael, by the way, folks, if you all watched the stream before, that told us all the breaking news before, that we had to keep the faith in Michael Appleton. That was what he was
I said keep the faith. That's all I said.
It. I tell you what, I will get the audio.
That was the room. No. The room coming out the club was keep the faith. Well,
so keep the faith, we're going to sack him. Was that what they were actually saying?
No, I spoke to other Blackpool fans this evening, and they phoned me up and said, fair play to the information. Anyway, that's you're entitled to your own opinion. This is United have turned down an approach, according to Max Grafton on Twitter.
Right, okay. Okay.
Well, Alan Nixon said on Radio Blackburn, he just had a text from an agent of a candidate saying Blackpool have the replacement they were looking at 2 weeks ago.
Mick McCarthy.
Well, allegedly, and Eric Ramsey, by all accounts on Sky Sports, has knocked us back, but the club have gone back in and he's considering it.
All right. Okay.
Taggart United doesn't want him to go.
Well, would you be happy with Eric Ramsey? Because you're not happy with Mick McCarthy. I know you told me he's the cheap option. This is what you messaging me this afternoon. I'm thinking, there's no way Mick McCarthy is cheap. He's a big name. If you got Mick McCarthy, he's a massive... Everybody knows who Mick McCarthy is. Nobody knew who Critchley was. Trust me, nobody ever heard of him until... I'd never heard of Critchley, but I've heard of Mick McCarthy. You know, he's managed it quite well.
I'll be perfectly honest with you. The bottom line is, at the end of the day, I would like my personal choice would be Tomo.
Yeah. Well,
that's my personal choice.
Do you think that? I know they want to play this Blackpool way or whatever, it's an entertaining football, but would you just take a manager that would guarantee us to stay up, whoever he is, just as long as we could guarantee that this season we don't go down, and no matter how awful we play, whether it's long ball, long throw-ins, getting free kicks around the box, whatever you do, shithousery in the Championship, would you take a manager that just can keep us up?
I would take a manager where the fans, where the fans in the north get behind, like they did with Critchley when he was kissing the badge. Forget all that. We don't want to talk about that. But we need a passionate manager on the sideline.
Yeah.
And Tomo is Blackpool through and through, sang-grown.
Yeah.
And I've just had a phone call. A pal of mine phoned me about 15 minutes ago. He was recently at a funeral with Tomo was there, and the same funeral as my pal went to. You know him, actually, but I won't mention his name on it here. Okay. That's by the by. And he's scouting at Oldham at the moment.
Okay. Is he?
But,
did he say he won the Blackpool job? Is that what you're going to tell me? I thought you were going to tell me that he...
No. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that, no. All I'm going to say is he's a Blackpool lad.
Right.
And if you listen to his passion on Radio Lancashire with Chisnell or Brett commentating with, he reads the game, he knows the game, he's a Blackpool lad through and through.
Yeah.
And I want Tomo, I do honestly. I really do want Tomo, but who knows? He's not looking. I mean, Mick McCarthy, he'll hopefully keep us up, but
Right.
I don't know.
Okay, thanks, Michael.
It's not my choice.
All right, cheers, Michael. Thanks for that.
Cheers, God bless. Bye-bye.
Oh, what's this? Lee needs a drink. What's it? Get Lee a drink after Harry. Bring back Harry instead of Mr. Shout. Okay. A vote or Chris Wilder, please, for Kay Bristow. Michael Blackpool says, I have faith in Sadler to get it right. Well, we've got to have, haven't we? If he doesn't, we're in trouble. Santino Surinano says, stop shouting. Well, okay, that's ended. What have we got now? Let's see who this is. Hello, what's your name?
I'm also Harry, mate.
Oh, you're also Harry. All right, Harry, but not quite as grumpy as a Harry, I suppose, are you? How are you feeling?
Well, I think it was the right decision to get him out.
Yeah. Yeah.
He should have gone before. He should have gone straight after the Wigan game for me.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was saying at that Wigan game, the call, that they were singing, like, you sacked in the morning was so loud at Wigan, wasn't it? And I thought, surely you can't survive when people are, when that starts coming across, Simon Sadler must be thinking, oh, Jesus, this is not going well. And a lot of people are saying, I mean, he's kept him, through the World Cup, and we've come back from the World Cup, probably hoping he's going to turn it around, and he's far from turned it around, has he? It's just got progressively worse, really. Do you not think it's?
Yeah, well, he just kept getting things constantly wrong.
Yeah.
Like, Patino as a 6 is never going to work.
Yeah. Do you think Patino's suffering, though, because he's not playing with... He only played with Bridcut. Patino had his best game for us. And I don't think Patino suits the role he's, of a hard... midfielder. He's not that kind of guy, is he? He wants somebody giving him nice balls all the time that he can spray around and put people in. Yeah, he's doing all the hard work, isn't he? And
he's Connolly, Bridcut, or like maybe that tribal guy just behind.
Yeah. I would have put Connolly in midfield and had, Andy Lyons at right back. I thought that's what we would do. I was surprised. Were you surprised at that team selection on Saturday? Because I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, well, I still think Gabriel's first choice right back, but he's a great player, Gabriel.
I know, but if only he hadn't fallen off a stool, we'd be all right, Harry, wouldn't we?
The red card for me as well.
Yeah. Do you think that's down to Appleton? Do you think that's? Pardon? Do you think that's down to Appleton that we've got these red cards? Is it the way he wants them to play that's getting them red cards?
Well, we've only got 2 or 3 under correction, didn't we? So.
Yeah, we've actually got 8 because a lot of people forget that Gary Medine got a red card retrospectively for something that he did on the touchline, and a lot of people forget that one. But he also got a match ban, didn't he, for something he said at Burnley? I don't know what it was, something he did on the touchline. But yeah, so we got 2 players sent off at Burnley, but his was retrospective, obviously. But it's still a red card, so we've actually had 8, which is terrible, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's not good enough. So who would you like to see coming in?
I think Tomo is a good shout.
Yeah.
But I think Big Sam Allardyce could be. I doubt he'd come here, but
I know. But would you want another former manager coming back to Blackpool? Would you want that? They don't seem to be working out for us, do they? These former managers, they're all all terrible, aren't they?
His record with teams coming into the relegation zone is.
Yeah. He knows his stuff, Sam Allardyce, doesn't he? And he can keep teams in the Premier League as well, can't he? He's one of those sort of fixers that you bring in, don't you, to save you.
Yeah.
He probably could save us, I think. He's shrewd enough, isn't he?
I think he could.
And I think people would... I think he'd be that kind of manager that could bring some players in. It seems like we're struggling to get players in, we can get kids on loan, but like as experienced centre half that we need, they don't seem to be able to get him in. So maybe that's another reason why they got rid of Appleton, because these experienced players don't want to come with him here, maybe. And they might come if it was Allardyce.
It also seems we seem a bit just too nice. Like, we should be letting people like Stewart go. Stewart's not going to play more than 10 games for Blackpool anymore, I don't think.
Can you let them go, though, when they're under contract? Can you let them go? Is that a thing?
According to some sides, like, apart from the loan boys, Stewart's our highest.
Yeah,
the player on the highest wage.
Well, did you watch Sunderland Till I Die? Did you watch that?
Yeah, I did watch that.
Well, they had a player there, didn't they, that was on just ridiculous wages, and he just never played. He was injured all the time, wasn't he? And they couldn't get rid of him.
Yeah.
He stuck right to the end of his 4-year deal or whatever, and they were paying him. I can't remember what it was. It was some ridiculous amount of money. He was on stupid money, and I'm not sure whether you can just terminate somebody because they're injured. But yeah, we do need to. Well, Bridcut's been just a waste of time, hasn't he? There's been quite a few things. Grant Ward, what was the point? What was the point of him? Really?
He's dreadful.
but there's no point, was there? What was the point? He played for 30 minutes or something, and I don't know. I don't know. I'm glad he's gone. I'm glad he's gone. I just hope that we're all back on Saturday and it's rocking.
Yeah.
It needs to be rocking, doesn't it? Because we're loud. Do you go on the north, Harry?
I do go on the north.
Okay. All right. So you're going to be there on Saturday?
Yeah, I've been there all season.
Good man. Well, thanks for your call. Thanks, Harry. I've put you in my little phone thing, so I know you're Harry next time you call in. So.
All right. Cheers.
All right. Cheers, Harry. Thank you. Thanks for the call. Thank you very much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, that was a great call, wasn't it, from Harry? We like both Harrys. Well, that one was easier than the Harry before. Eugene McGeever says, I think Blackpool need a big name manager to get the players in. Michael Blackpool says we need to stop the former manager thing and look forward. I love Tomo, but coaching staff at best. Perhaps so. They wouldn't give him the manager's job before. I can't even read that. Santino says, heck, get Neil Warnock in for the rest of the season. He will kick some arses and set a standard. There is rumours that he's not very well, so maybe that's a reason his health isn't so good at the moment, is Neil. He couldn't do it. Mick Kerr says Stewart is one of the best midfielders in the Championship. Yes, he is, but he's not when he's on the sick bench all the time. He'd be great if he was playing, and we miss him, and I wish we did have him. Gareth Gerrard says Tomo was previously managed Blackpool on a temporary basis. Yes, and he did okay, if I remember correctly. He did about the same time as the late Tom White, an ex-Warbrick school pupil who went to Bolton as an apprentice. Could be a decent shout and still lives in Blackpool, but lots of football experience. Yeah, but they wouldn't give him the manager's job. But there was a lot of call for him to be coming in because the players like him and the rest, and the rest of it. He was popular with the players. Brian says I'm wasting my time. Well, it's good. It's good drama, isn't it? You weren't really ever going to turn him round, were you? Yeah, Mick McCarthy is now the bookie's favourite, but that means nothing because all it means is that people are betting on Mick McCarthy because they've heard it on Radio Lancashire and wherever else and rumour. So bookies' favourites don't mean anything. It's just what the money's going on, and they won't want to be paying out fortunes if it is Mick McCarthy. So the odds go down on it, obviously, and that's bookies. That's what that's all about. That doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be. He may be. Somebody may have heard something definite, but half the time bookies are just going with what bets are going on, and there have been a lot of people lumping on Mick McCarthy after hearing the thing on Radio Lancashire. Who the hell is this, says Chris? Not. Mark Chamberlain says, taking the Mick Blackpool set to appoint former Wells and Ireland boss Mick McCarthy as new boss. We don't know. Again, it's a private number. I won't answer him, sorry, so you're wasting your time. Damien says he hopes they pop Mansford. Does this guy think they should have I think what he was saying, Chris, was that if you need some plumbing doing, you hire a plumber. If you go into court because you've got some legal dispute, you hire a lawyer. But if you're wanting to run a football club, you hire somebody that's an expert at running a football club. I think that's the point he was making. I kind of get that. You want somebody that knows how to run a football club, but there's loads of people who know how to run a football club that don't do very good jobs, do they? I'll make this point now that there's only so many clubs that are successful in a season. There's only one club that can win the league. There's only 3 teams that can go up. There's 3 teams that go down, and the rest in all the leagues, whatever you look at, have got people running him who are football men, and they've not got their team to the top of the league because you can't all be successful. And some of those people that clubs bring in and they think he's a football man actually get relegated with him. So there's no guarantee, even if you bring a football man in with experience, that he is going to do a good job. Because if that was a guarantee, you could just guarantee that you'd be top of the league, and then you'd be guaranteed you go in the Premier League and you win the Premier League and you'd be in Europe. It doesn't work that way. It's something, you've just got to take a risk. Simon Sadler wouldn't know who was a good football guy. Ben Mansford may have been recommended to him. He's got probably a good relationship with Ben Mansford. He's trusted him, but unfortunately, it's not gone right, has it? It's they found Critchley, and I'm sure Simon Sadler at that time was really happy. They gave him a massive contract. He was probably thrilled with Ben Mansford, thrilled with the way we did last year, thrilled with the fact that we got up out of the League One into the Championship probably a year or two before he even thought it was possible. So at that time, Simon Sadler will have been in love with Ben Mansford. And after last season, doing so well, he probably would. And now, because it's not quite going right, does he just pop Ben Mansford? I don't know. Christina says Brett G is the right man in the right place, and I agree. He is Simon Sadler's man on the inside, the man who's looking after the Blackpool Football Club when he's away. He's not interfering with what the manager does. He's probably not interfering with what Ben Mansford done, but he'll be dealing with all the myriad of problems that they inherited when they took the club over from the Oystons. I mean, God, they came into a car crash club. How they've managed to turn things around and done the things they've done that we can all see. You've got to be a blind man if you don't see the things that are going on at Bloomfield Road and how much better it is every time you go, and the things they're trying to do with the Moretti Lounge and the Peroni Lounge and the sponsorships and the Blackpool Tower all the way as you come through the South Stand, and Tangerine Hotels in the corner, and the whole thing is just on another planet to what we were used to with the Oystons. And that's all down to probably Brett Geraghty has done all of that, because he'll have contacts in Blackpool and so is he doing a bad job, Brett Geraghty? I don't think so. The Riga Revolution again. Yeah, that'd be great, wouldn't it? Yeah, another 2 year season that I didn't go to. The recruitment team bringing the players. Yeah, Big Sam, been mentioned, Mick. Yeah, he could do a job. Yeah, Christine, I agree with you. He is a nice bloke. I've talked to him loads of time. I have a lot of time for Brett Geraghty, and he is just looking after the Blackpool Football Club for Simon Sadler, and he's probably doing the best he bloody well can, and probably Simon Sadler couldn't get anybody else as close a friend as Brett Geraghty to come into Blackpool Football Club and look after it for him when he's out in Singapore. He can't. So I don't know. Yeah, Damien says get rid of that beeping noise. I have started just swiping them off now. If they're ringing in, I swipe them off. But unfortunately, somebody on a private number just keeps ringing all the time. I have to keep swiping him off. But yeah, I have got rid of the beeping noise. That is people calling in, but that's, like I say, I don't have a bank of operators standing by. There's just me here. So if there is somebody on a call and you're trying to phone in and it's engaged, then obviously don't keep phoning in because I can't answer you. Zidane, says Dave. Tony Poulis, yeah, could do a job. Yeah, we've done that right. Okay, back to YouTube. The True Red says Mick McCarthy would be a terrible appointment. Based on what? His history, if you look back on his managerial record, I would say Mick McCarthy is pretty successful. And for Blackpool, maybe not for Nottingham Forest, but for Blackpool fan, he would be like, oh my God, Mick McCarthy, somebody we've actually heard of for a change. We don't get many that actually blow our socks away. I mean, people would have been saying back in the day, Ian Holloway, oh my God, was he? I can't remember now. Was he at Leicester, Holloway? But they hated him. Wherever he was, they hated him. Paul B says he watched a podcast on. I'm trying to get back to the comments because there's a lot coming. Yeah, Blackpool Fan TV says all we need is a manager who will keep us up. Indeed. Yeah, McNally says McCarthy is a no for me, but would be good in the next Adams family. Calls a spade, though. Mick McCarthy, he don't mess about. He's pretty straight talking. Blue Terry says Mick McCarthy is an old-fashioned manager with old-fashioned tactics, but do we need an old-fashioned manager with old-fashioned how to keep you up tactics? Because I don't think playing the Blackpool way, exciting football that they wanted to play, has done us any good this season at all. So I don't know. Holloway lives near Bath. Yes, he does. Michael for Blackpool is saying, yeah, it's a good point that Sadler is a lad who went to Warbeck School in Blackpool, which is not a private school by any stretch of the imagination. It's quite a hard school to be brought up in at one time. And my best mate went to Warbeck as well, and he's investing £50 million into BFC. So he's got to be committed. I mean, Jane thinks he's playing the long game where he's trying to increase his investment and eventually sell it all off. But if he is, good luck to him. If he gets Blackpool into the Premier League and sells the club for £150 million and rides off into the sunset and we're a fantastic club. Are we going to hold that against Simon Sadler? He's built us a new stand and a new training ground and set us up, with the future, which we didn't have with the Oystons. We were going nowhere with them. They were never going to do any investment in any part of Blackpool. The whole reason they're probably having a lot of trouble with the stadium is because of how crap the materials were used to build it. They can't even jet wash the seats at Blackpool. They can't jet wash them because the water goes straight through the seats into the offices behind. So it's just built on the cheapest possible thing. The metal that they use for it is rust all the time. They have to repaint the bloody place. Honestly, but it's our ground and we love it. And if it had a good stand on that east stand, it would be a lot better than it is. Yeah, Warbeck was not a private school, not at all. Absolutely, it wasn't. It was a rough upbringing there. So Simon Sadler was not born with a golden spoon in his mouth, was he? He's done it all himself. Whether he's done it through being smart and investing things, and he hasn't, worked his fingers to the bone developing the latest electric car or anything, but he's made his money and he's made enough money to come back and buy his childhood team. And he wants us to do well, and that's the way I look at him, and I've looked at him all the time. I love him, and maybe singing the old, Simon Sadler. We've got Simon Sadler. He knows what we're after. We're staying up would be a nice song to sing to him on Saturday, I think, instead of the abuse he's had over the some games, which I don't think is right, to be honest. I agreed with abusing the Oystons, but I don't agree with abusing Simon Sadler for anything. I think he's doing as good as you possibly can, and he's trying to do things right. And you can see now he's sacked Appleton. It's what we all wanted. He sacked him. You can't say he hasn't. He has, and people were telling me, "Oh, we'll never sack him. He's on a 4-year contract. We've made this. We've made our bed. We're lying in it." And he's not got Blackpool at heart. Well, he has. He's got rid of him. He's got rid of him earlier than I thought he was going to do. I thought he was going to give him all of January. But there's obviously some problem there, and that's probably is getting these players in that they're trying to get in. Players won't want to come playing for Blackpool second off the bottom with Michael Appleton in charge, and they'll probably look at it saying, "Oh, I'm coming to a nightmare here." So I think maybe that's why they've got rid of him. Michael Blackpool says that he agrees we need to sing some Simon Sadler songs on Saturday, and show him that we're actually with him and behind him. We need to sing lots of songs on Saturday. We need to be the loudest we have been in ages. We need to never stop singing. We need to roar them on. And we need to do that all the way to the end of the season, because to me, we can have whatever manager comes in, but if he hasn't got us behind the team, roaring them on, cheering them on, making them up, even when we're down, there was a time in the season where we go down and we just keep singing, and we haven't been doing that. And we need to do that. We need to get back to that for me. I don't know, Jake. I don't know who I would personally take. I won't even commit myself to it really, because I could be wrong, on it. I think I'm just going to have to, all I can say is whoever they get in, whoever that they get in, I'm going to be behind them. Let me just get a drink. I'm getting dry. I've talked that long. Right. Yeah, Blue Terrier says Simon Sadler has been one of the best things to happen to Blackpool. He's slowly rebuilding you and not putting the club at risk by doing it. Sense, yeah, total sense, Blue Terrier. I couldn't agree with you more. He really has got the club at heart, and he's doing some fantastic things. And I just can't praise him enough, to be honest, really. Stuart Ward says Chris Wilder or Dean Smith would be great if we could get them two modern forward-thinking managers that could bring success for years to come. I agree with either of those two. And I don't know why Norwich sacked Dean Smith when he was fifth off the top, if I'm right there. They were fifth, were they? Chris Wilder as well, you know, didn't have a good start. Just 1 second while I have a drink. Yeah, Chris Wilder did fantastic at Sheffield United, didn't he? He really did. You would believe that he could do something, wouldn't you? Despite the fact he didn't do well at Middlesbrough, it just didn't work out. But you would believe that he was the type of manager that could do something. He's young, you know, he's ambitious. I think he could really do very, very well. And you know, you can see that Sheffield United are a club that I actually kind of admire because they are really tough. You know, they are a tough bunch, aren't they? You know, I used to my son was playing obviously in, you know, when he was 8, 9 and 10, and we used to have these football tournaments, and they'd be down at Squires Gate or whatever, and there'd be a football tournament on, and they'd always have some like Liverpool team, like, oh my God, you know, they were like the hard nuts would turn up, and they would go away with a trophy every time because they were just that sort of like just savvy, and our boys were like little lads compared to, you know, they were from a different, I don't know whether they brought up harder in Liverpool than they are here, but, you know, ours were like little innocent boys, and these Liverpool lads were thugs, you know, and I always get that impression with Sheffield United that they are a pretty hard, you know, the whole thing at Sheffield when you go there, forged in steel, and it is just, that's how it is. They are rock hard, and I think, you know, that kind of team I wish we had a bit more of it in our team. Blue Terry says that Middlesbrough, according to XG, were the best team in the league under Wilder this season, but they just weren't clinical. Well, we are at times clinical. Not very often. It's not a word that I would associate in a word association game, Blackpool and clinical, because quite often we miss loads of chances. But against Nottingham Forest, we were very clinical. So we can beat sometimes. Yeah, Cardiff, he was terrible. I know he was terrible at Cardiff, but Cardiff, they're a car crash club, Cardiff. It's this Vincent Tanner, whatever he's called. He's an absolute nightmare. They've been through about 20 odd managers since he's been there. It's not a happy place, Cardiff. It's not a place I would. Whereas Blackpool is a happy place, you know, really. Just Michael Appleton just didn't fit. Let's just go back to Facebook quickly. Steve Huntley is saying that Simon is a businessman and Mansfield has not only league position but a rumoured 1 million. Mick Kerr is saying quite right, Lee. I don't quite know what I was saying before, but be one of the things I was ranting about. Oh yeah, about Stuart being one of the best midfielders, but unfortunately not when you're in the physio room all the time. Right, there's a few more posts on YouTube, and I think we will call it a day. I've said about everything I can say. I think really, I don't think I can say much more. Michael Blackpool says, I like our squad. It's now about finishing the right finding, I think, probably the right formation and being smart with subs. Yeah. I was disappointed with Appleton on Saturday, really, where, you know, they were making subs and we were not making subs, and we were on top. And I thought it needed something to change because we were on top. When they scored, we were on top. CJ Hamilton was terrorising them down that left wing. And he just had nobody to put the ball into until he did bring Jerry Yates on. And I just think that when you're sort of in trouble and you've got a bit of a silver lining to a cloud. You've been given this gift of a new right back that you've not had before, and you've brought this German player in, and you've got possibilities, but you still stick with like the play. Bowler's come back. Bowler's played with Yates and Medine before, so Bowler would shoot straight in, wouldn't he? Everybody knows what Bowler's doing, and I would have thought he would have stuck with Yates or Lavery or something, especially players that have scored. I just didn't get Watford at all. I didn't get what he did. I don't know why we had Jerry Yates on the bench. Right, okay, so so Blue Terry says, you'll see this Saturday we always dominate the game but have nothing in the final third, so I'm glad we have brought in Ansi Noko. I've got to say that second half against Blackpool at Huddersfield, you were dominating us, and you were dominating us, obviously the Christmas before, the Boxing Day game where we were down to 10 men, it was horrendous. But Blackpool, on their day can also dominate the game as well. Stuart Ward is off. Okay, Stuart, thank you very much. Thank you. He's got work in the morning. Okay. All right. Okay. I think anybody else got anything else to say? I don't think there's much else to add. I think we're all really pleased that he's finally gone. I don't think it was. It was kind of doomed to failure from the start, and I think when you bring a manager in that's so unpopular with such a lot of the fan base and divides a fan base and reduces Blackpool from a team that are bigger than they are because of the noise we make and the 12th man, to reduce that 12 man down to silence for lots of the game and lose all the enthusiasm, you're destroying what we have and putting us back to little Blackpool, and then we are little Blackpool, and they have to. Simon Sadler, Ben, if you're listening to this, please get us in somebody that is not going to divide the fan base. Simon, you're a Blackpool fan. You know just as much as me what sort of managers are going to divide us and what sort of managers we could get behind. And it needs to be a good appointment. And some people are mentioning Wilder. He sounds great to me. Dean Smith also sounds a possibility, but you must get the right person in for this job, Somebody's saying who is taking charge on Saturday. We do not know yet. It's not been announced, so we'll wait and see. As soon as it's announced, I'll be on here having a chat with you guys again about it, whether you're all happy with the appointment. So thanks a lot for tuning in for this one. If you haven't liked the video, please boot the like button for me, and also if you're new on here and you want to help us out, just press that little subscribe button as well, and that helps us all the time. We do these things as much as we can. I've also for anybody who's still on, I am going to be there'll be a video coming out tomorrow, but I'm now allowed to have memberships of the channel, and I've kind of not done anything with it because I didn't know what to do like for members. But what I'm going to do going forward with the match day videos, the vlogs that come on, I tend to get them on in the middle of the night. Sometimes it can be 12:30, sometimes it can be 2 o'clock, sometimes it can be 6 o'clock in the morning, and it's all hiddly-piddly, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. YouTuber, nobody's watching it at that time, so I'm going to set a time that they're going to come on a Sunday morning. So I'm going to go with 11 o'clock. So all my videos will come on a Sunday at 11 a.m. But members will be allowed to see that video before it goes live. So if you're up at 6 in the morning or 7 o'clock in the morning and you want to see the video before 11 o'clock, or even if you just want to help support the channel as well, because all this costs us a lot of money to do, and people are always coming up to me saying, is there any way I can support you? Well, memberships are $1.99 a month, and if you want to help us out and become a member, then that would be greatly appreciated. I've got some other ideas for members going forward as well, but for now, members will get to see any of the matchday vlogs before they're actually officially come on at 11 o'clock. If you don't want to be a member, not a problem. The videos will be there to watch from 11 o'clock, and you don't have to pay anything. But if you'd like to support us and you'd like to be a member, it's going to be £1.99. That's what they are. And any pennies help, really, to help us just keep doing all these things for you. Lee Charles for manager. Yes, I'll be shouting more than Michael Appleton did. Santino Sirigano is saying the Huddersfield keeper was good at Hull, so we've got that to look forward to. Good timing for Jane. Yeah, that'd be good. Running the club and pushing the fans in. So, well, yeah, she'd be great at running the club, wouldn't she? She puts me in my place all the time. Daz BFC says, hello, Blackpool are back indeed. Right, that's YouTube. Any last ones on Facebook, and then I am going to say goodnight to you all. Gareth Gerard says, do you think, Lee, that the players will be secretly bursting with happiness and relief that Apples has gone? I don't know. There was lots of rumours that the dressing room was lost. I'm not privy to that, so I don't know. But I'm sure a few players might be happy that he's gone. Probably a few players were happy that Critch went because he wasn't playing them as well. So there'll always be somebody happy, and there'll always be somebody maybe really liked Michael Appleton. I don't know how Morgan Rogers will feel at the moment. He's just signed from City to play under Michael Appleton, hasn't he? He's had one game and he's gone. So he might not be. He might be one of the ones that's not too happy because he was looking forward to playing for Michael Appleton once more. Score prediction for Saturday, Lee. I always have to hope we win, and I hope we do. I hope we come out blazing, and I hope we have the game of our lives. I hope the place is buzzing, and Blackpool win 3-1. That would be my that would be my dream. Ian McKnight says, "How can you abuse anyone putting that sort of money into a football club?" Well, he hasn't put it in yet. He hasn't. It's in the pipeline, and a lot of people are a bit like, we'll see it when we believe it, because the Oysters were always saying they were going to do the training ground, they were going to do the stand, and they never did. But let's hope he is going to do that, and I believe he will. And I could never give him abuse because I love him. I think he's great, and I've met him. I met him playing, pool in Swansea on Mumbles Pier, and yeah, he's a nice guy. He's very private, and he doesn't like the publicity. I'd help him any way I could. Simon, any help you need from me, just give me a call. Returning doesn't work out very often, no. Lewis Evans says, I hope you don't get Chris Wilder. He was shocking for us. Yeah, he was for you, but for Sheffield United, he was unbelievable. So, does that 10 weeks, whatever you had him for, is that Chris Wilder? Is that him? Is he better than that? Eugene McGeever finally says, I think Blackpool will have a caretaker now for the game against Huddersfield this weekend. Right, that's it, folks. I'm going to get off. It's getting late. I've lost my voice a few times. I've talked. I will be back, obviously, for the match vlog on filming on Saturday. If you know where Jane and I are, if you want to come and say hello and tell us your thoughts as well on camera, you can on Saturday, and I will be back if we hear finally having a party. Yes, indeed. And about time. It is, Ethan. Right, I'm going to get off. Thank you very much, folks. Thanks for obviously tuning in and being with us on this journey, and for those fans that I always say are not Blackpool fans who watch all the things and go through the stress with us, and thank you as well. If we hear before the weekend who the manager is, we'll be back. Thanks a lot for watching. Take care, everybody. See you soon. I'm fine, Paul. I'm just going, actually. That's what I'm doing. You've come just in the nick of time to say hello. So Paul Folwell Blue Nose, he does Birmingham vlogs and goes around the country and stuff. He's a up and coming YouTuber. Give him a like and a sub to him as well. Thanks, Lewis. Bye to you. Thanks, everyone. I'm going. It's been 2 hours. Yes, it's been 2 hours. And it's been fun. Thanks for all the callers in. Thanks for all the comments. I know I can't always do calls and comments. It gets too much. I can't listen to what they're saying and comment. So I do my best. I can't multitask. Thanks a lot. See you later. Thank you. Bye. Bye.